can do that. Okay, now I've got to go back and find you on Facebook. Let's see here. We're just on live. There you are. Okay, awesome. I'm here. We're recording everything right now. So just so you're aware, we are recording. I'm gonna let everybody who pops in know we're recording this. So if you don't want it recorded and shared with the group, don't say it here. Okay. So I didn't catch it. Did you have any questions, like specific questions, or are you just coming to, hi,
Hey,
how's it going?
great.
Good. We've got 2 people on now. What I was just explaining is I'm going to do the training and record it live right now so people can ask questions. And then we're also going to, this is more like I'm trying to run the Q&A more like a office hours in a way, because we have some people who are halfway across the world and some people who are like in my time zone, which is LA Pacific Standard Seattle time. So I just now got the video recording working. They changed the software on me. This last week, they switched from having it from you go to the website and you start it, and all of a sudden there's like an app that you have to download to make it work. Like, okay, this is awesome. Yay, go team. Okay, so can you guys just see me, or can you see my screen?
Just you.
Okay, awesome. So let me see if I can share my screen on here. Let's see. Usually we use Zoom, and I'm trying this Facebook. Let's see, just share your screen. Oh, right there. Awesome. Okay. So today, as I mentioned, we're starting off, and anybody can jump in with questions at any time. We're going to have people popping in with questions. I'm starting off with more of the mindset side of things. And I know that a lot of people already have their own mindset practices. One of the biggest challenges that we found when training people how to become top 10% copywriters is that they don't possess the correct mindset to get there, right? And so a lot of people think that, like, oh, okay, well, I see, I know at least 10 top copywriters and they're amazing, and so I must just be able to do it. And they don't realize that there is almost an internal shift that has to happen to be there. And it's the same internal shift essentially that a business owner goes through when they go from feeling like they're not going to be successful to feeling like they will be successful. So we're going to go through that. We're also going to go through changing states to get there. And we're going to go through some of the things that we need for the actual sales copywriting. So things like the customer awareness level. We're going to look at how to change customer states. And we'll do more of that next week. We call that belief craft, like how to change their belief in themselves. Because the number one reason why people don't buy is because they're skeptical, and they're not skeptical because they believe the product doesn't work. They're skeptical because they believe that it won't work for them. They don't have the capabilities, the beliefs, the environment, something is going to stop them using that product from making it work. Let me just a second here. So first thing I wanted to go over, I don't know if you guys can see my screen here. Can you guys see it?
We can see. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I typed out a bunch of notes of things I want to go over in class, and it's kind of going to weave in and out. I was going to make a PowerPoint for it, but then I realized when I was looking back at the data, no one's really downloading the PowerPoint slides, but they're going back through the notes. So I was like, from the last class, I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to, do the notes, then I'll type on screen and people can see it and you can ask questions. Give me a second here. Shockingly, I haven't had any coffee yet this morning. As I mentioned a little bit ago, my son is really sick, my 1-year-old.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. He's in the other room. My husband is with him right now, and he's not happy. My husband's great. My husband's an amazing person. He's happy, but like my son is not happy. He's screaming. So if you hear anything in the background, I apologize in advance. Okay, so first thing, one of the first things all copywriters need to learn is something called the customer awareness level. And for some reason, most programs, at least that's my belief, most programs skip right over this, right? They focus on the product. And they don't think about where the customer is coming from when they first start looking at the product, right? So customers have this journey that they go through, okay? And when they're going through that journey, especially on Amazon, we tend to think like, okay, well, someone goes there and they need to, like, they're trying to solve a problem, right? They need to buy, let's say, a wrench, okay? a lot of times, when Amazon sellers are selling, they're thinking, okay, well, what are all the cool things about my wrench that would make somebody want to buy it? But the customer, when they're first getting there, they may be at a different level of awareness, right? So that level of awareness, when someone's thinking like, okay, I have a wrench to sell. Okay. This is the Amazon seller. Okay. So Amazon seller, I have a wrench to sell. And we're using wrench because it's basic and simple and silly and something that people a lot of times might not think about needing to actually sell. They're thinking like, oh, okay, well, you just need to know the features of the wrench. That's not actually correct. So Amazon sellers are thinking, I have a wrench to sell, right? Customers are thinking, I have a problem. Okay. A customer at customer awareness level 1, they're going to be someone who says, okay, well, I know which brand of wrench I want to buy. Right. And so they're pretty much locked in on the brand already. And we can change that by advertising under that, like main brand, right? So you have like Craftsman is a main brand, right? So let's say they want to buy a Craftsman wrench. They're coming in at the awareness level that they know the tool they want to buy. They know what's going to solve their problem, and they want to buy a specific brand, right? So they're looking for the best price. Okay. And sometimes on Amazon, the best delivery time, right? Because we have people who are Amazon sellers who are FBA, and then we have FBM. So fulfilled by Amazon, where Amazon is housing the stock, and then fulfilled by merchant, which is like Craftsman has a warehouse of their own and they're shipping it out, right? And someone may need it by tomorrow when their new toilet arrives. Okay. So that's the problem with, like they're thinking from the level of, I already know what I want. I already know who I want to buy it from. I'm just looking for the best price and to make sure it's here on time. Okay. Customer awareness level 2. We're looking at, I know I have a problem. Okay. I know what type of product I want to buy. In this case, it's a wrench. Okay. And I am looking for the best benefits, features, transformations, and pricing, right? And do those justify pricing? Okay. We live a lot in customer awareness level 2, right? We live here a lot as Amazon sellers and as Amazon copywriters. When people come in, we already know that, like, we know how to sell to these people, right? This is where the features come in and the benefits come in. So this is kind of an easy one, right? What a lot of people don't think about when they're selling on Amazon or when they're writing Amazon sales copy is customer awareness level 3, right? And there's a really sweet spot here that we can gain a lot more customers than our competitors by looking and thinking from selling from the perspective of customer awareness level 3, right? And this is, I know I have a problem. I know there are items to solve it. I haven't decided on the type yet, right? I don't know if you want to mute your. I don't know if you want to mute your camera. You guys may want to mute your backgrounds. I don't mind it, but it's going to get recorded and everybody else will hear it, so it's totally up to you, right? Just so you know, I don't know what that is popping up on my screen. Okay, it's gone now. Okay, right? So these are people who they know they have a problem, right? They know there are items to solve it. They haven't decided on the type yet, right? So they might be looking for a wrench. They might be looking for a ratchet set. They might be looking for like an electric wrench, kind of like a drill that has like a wrench bit on it, right? Something like that. Drill with a wrench bit. Ratchet bits. They might still be in the process of thinking, should I have somebody else install it? Which is an objection we have to overcome and say, you're actually capable of doing this. Don't waste hundreds of dollars having somebody else install it. This tool will make it easy, right? Right. So that's customer awareness level 3. This is kind of one of our hot spots when we're trying to sell on Amazon, right? Hot spot. Customer awareness level 4. This is also a really great hotspot, but it's not something we address a lot in the listing. This is someone who says, I know I have a problem. I don't know what the actual problem is. And I don't know where to look or what I'll need. Okay. We don't focus on customer awareness level 4 until we're looking at more of the marketing side of things. So we can convince them that this is their problem, right? We can talk about their problem, but the way that we do that is through something like an advertorial, right? In a magazine or an article online. And then we'd be doing external marketing, right? And it's still marketing. We're not going to be pushing out that marketing. It's still marketing that they'll find, right? But the only way we ever play in this field is if we're looking at external marketing, right? Like those advertorials. And this is where we generate the highest conversions. Customer awareness level 5, right? And these are the skeptics, okay? Now, when you're looking at Amazon and they're talking about the average conversion for a listing is approximately 6%, okay? The reason for that is that most people who are selling on Amazon and most people who are writing Amazon listings are focusing on this. Okay. If they're focusing on this, they're usually wholesalers and they, like they're not really they don't really have to say a lot, right? You're not really convincing people of much. They already like craftsmen. They're looking for the best price and the best deal, and they're looking for the best delivery time, right? That's relatively simple, right? But this is where a lot of people stop, right? So I'm going to say stop, and it's the wrong point to stop at. So when they're looking at that customer awareness, sorry, I'm hearing the background. When they're looking at that customer awareness level 2, and if you go and look at most listings, right, they're talking about the features and the benefits of that product. They're not trying to convince anybody that it's the right type of product to use. And most of the time, they aren't focusing really hard on overcoming the skeptics, right? So a skeptic is someone who has a lot of objections, okay? And with something like a wrench, it's a little bit harder to suss out their objections. You can go and you can look at listings online, right? And this is how I do it. There's 3 different places that I go to look for this, for the objections, okay? For customer awareness level 5. So one of them is like, if you look for wrench for toilets, let's say for toilet bolts, okay? And we're going to go, and these are going to be the blandest, driest, ugliest, worst listings you've ever seen in your entire life. Right? Oh, there's a jam bar. That's interesting. That brings up an interesting point. So a lot of times we have people at customer awareness level 2 and they'll think they know what they want to buy. And then they'll be searching through Amazon and they'll see something like this and say, oh, what's this do? Right? Then all of a sudden they're back to customer awareness level 3. So they've moved to a different point in their journey. And so we have to sell to both of those people as well, right? So this person is selling a jam bar, stops toilet bolt rotation. The things we're gonna look at, there are no questions on this one. Sorry, give me a second here. I've got stuff popping up everywhere. What we'd look at on something like this, right, is we're looking for the skeptics and for what they're getting into their mindset and what they're going to complain about and what they're worried about, why it won't work. We can automatically go over to like the 2 and 3 star reviews, right? We can go to our competitors or go to, if you're writing for another Amazon seller, go to their competitors and go to their 2 and 1 star reviews. And we'll go more into depth on what to look for. We're going to do a whole class on what to look for, right? Because that's like a 1 hour, 2 hour session right there. But this is more to give an example, right? For customer awareness level 5. So, people are worried about it not, they're looking at skeptical things. As a skeptic, they're thinking, sorry, give me a second. As a skeptic, I'm getting over a cold. As a skeptic, they're thinking, why won't this work? Okay. I've bought something like this before and it was gadgety and like, it just didn't work for me, right? Why didn't it work? Well, it broke after using it for the single bolt, right? So we can write that down under like lists of things that will make people skeptical. Flimsy material, flexes a lot, doesn't seem like it would last for a long time. These are all things we'll go and look at, right? And this is relatively hard to do in a niche like plumbing. Okay. It's much, much easier in niches that trigger emotions, right? So the niches the categories that trigger emotions are going to be things like health and wellness. So anything fitness, weight loss, anything along those lines, anything that's financial, right? So where business owners are reading books, they're trying to make more money. There's a lot of emotional triggers in that. And then there's another one we don't really deal with on Amazon, so I won't go too deep. I won't go into that. And I guess we do a little bit like relationships, I guess. So there's some products like that tie into both health and wellness and relationships, right? So there will be people selling books or sometimes fitness equipment ties into relationships. I want to get fit so I can be on so I can be on a dating site and get dates. So I can turn heads when I'm out. I think just about everybody in here is married. So that, it's not, that might not be as pertinent, right? But it's something we have to think about, right? So why would that person be skeptical? Okay. So we go to the critical reviews, right? That's where we find all the different bits of skepticism. You can also go places if you're, and again, I'll go into this more. We're going to do a whole training on this, just finding people's hot buttons and finding their skepticism points, right? You can go to like Reddit, you can go to Facebook forums, places like that. But the point is that at customer awareness level 5, if we can identify their skepticism and use belief craft and state change to overcome that, which is a lot of what we're going to be focusing on today, is that belief craft and that state change, we can actually garner, we're talking conversions in the 20%, 30%. I've had them go up into the 60s and 70s, right? And that's a lot higher than Amazon standard 6%. So we have to learn to focus on to hit all of those different buttons, right? So customer awareness level 2, which is they know exactly what they want, like the type of product they want, and they're looking for specific features, and they're looking for benefits and transformation. Like, how will this product transform my life, right? Because they know what their transformation is as well. Customer awareness level 3. Let me go back to my notes here that I haven't even saved. Customer awareness level 3, right? They know they have a problem. They're looking for the right way to solve that problem. And they're looking at the difference between like a diet pill, exercise equipment, exercise program, right? Like a video or like calisthenics or like walk 10 minutes a day kind of thing. The type of diet that they should be eating, right? So there's like a diet book or guide, or, recipes and meal plans and things like that, right? So they're still determining what they need. Supplements is a huge one for customer awareness level 3. Anything that's, like easy, like, okay, if I take this, it's going to work, right? Right. They're still there. They're looking for what they need to do, the action they need to take, the products they need, the product type they need to buy, right? And then down here we have all the people who, and this is literally what a lot of people don't realize, is this is literally every single person who's ever bought anything online. And when we first, when online sales first kicked off in, I want to say it was the internet hit everybody, started becoming available in 1994. And it was about 1996 when they started regulating what we can say. And by 1999, people were buying things off the internet like crazy. So we have a lot of people who just don't believe it's going to work for them. And they've been sold every single miracle pill and cure on the planet. And we're going to learn how to overcome that without making huge claims and seeming like we're snake oil, salesmen, right? So that was the first thing, right? The reason that I wanted to cover that as a basic today and get down to skepticism is because skepticism has everything to do with state change. Okay. So when, and we're going to start from that point, because we're going to look at changing our own state today, and we're going to look at changing over the next week, and we're going to look at changing, and that's going to help us understand how to change the customer state, right? So when a customer comes to your listing or your client's listing, they are going to automatically be in skeptic mode. They're not always, most of the time, they're not looking for what will work. They're looking for reasons to say no. They're not looking for reasons to say yes. They're looking for reasons to say no. Now, there's a very small percentage of the population, right? And that percentage of the population tends to be the kind that follows things. And I'm within that percentage of the population. We call them more the Pollyannas, okay? They are, a lot of times, they're entrepreneurial. They are forward focused instead of like past focused. We tend to be positive thinkers, right? We tend to believe that thoughts become things, that we have some control over our reality, that, there are words used like manifesting, law of attraction, things like that. That's about 10% of the population at this point in time. Some people just have really strong faith in their higher power. So they may be a particular religion, they may be Christian, they may come from Islam, they may, be Jewish, but they have this strong belief in their higher power, right? So, or in their own personal power. And so there's 10% of the population that doesn't come to a listing, and they're coming looking for a yes. They're looking to say yes to something. 90% of the population approximately is coming to say no. They're weeding out, right? They're saying, okay, well, nope, this won't work. Nope, this won't work. Nope, this won't work, right? They're going through like, no, 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 right? They're in skeptic mode because they've already been burned before. So that's why we're starting with skepticism. And that's the main state that we have to look at first to change somebody who's a looky-loo into a customer. Okay. So for example, if you're trying to move somebody from a state of their mental state, right? Of I'm fat and that's not going to change because, right? The because are all of the excuses and the skepticism, right? They might say, because everybody in my family is fat. I'm genetically predisposed to being fat, right? They might say it's because of, and I actually wrote all this down here for you guys. Give me just a second here. I'm going to move this up because it makes more sense up here. Or I'll just type it out here. Okay. So these becauses here are, do this. Because is always going to be because they believe, because something is out of alignment, right? In their mental state. So it could be their higher power, right? So they don't believe that either they or their, I'll just say God for the grand sake of things, like whatever you would insert for God, right? They or their God will or can make it happen. Okay. The second thing is identity. Okay. So I'm not the kind of person who is fit, right? So that falls into, if you think about like a category of people who are fit and a category of people who aren't, people literally self-select, right? And they'll say, okay, the way I think about myself is I don't think about myself as a fit person, right? That goes into their beliefs, which will then state like, I don't believe I can lose weight. I don't believe I can tone up. I don't believe I can, let's see here, gain curves is a big one with women in the weightlifting field. Like there's this program that sold like millions of dollars in sales. It's like called From Bony to Bombshell or something like that. Gaining curves and gaining muscle, right? I don't possess the beliefs. I don't believe I can control my hunger. I don't believe I can physically perform exercise. I don't believe I have the self-control to not eat that cake or whatever it is, right? I'm not saying you should eat one way or another, just so you know. These are just things that, people's beliefs, like these are the beliefs, the skepticism we're overcoming. Okay. We have capabilities, and this is the number one, like by far. Okay. The number one reason why people don't buy. They believe it's not going to work for them, right? That's what that skepticism is, right? So like, sure, that diet pill, worked for that person's success, but they're not me, right? And this is why things like reviews are so important with stories in them. Or influencers. Testimonials are really, really important. If you can put up videos for that, that's really important. Sure, that exercise equipment was easy to use for that person, but not for me, and all the reasons why it wouldn't be easy for them. Sure, that supplement worked, but not for me. Sure, that it's it, but not. This is the big, but not for me. Okay, it worked for them, but not for me. Okay, and then we have environment. We're overcoming things in our environment as well. And this is again just a template, and we're going to go deeper into this when we're looking through the different places we're actually looking for the skepticism. But this is important for our homework today that pertains more to you, right, than the customer. But I'm taking it from the customer's perspective, so we're kind of learning it now, and then we're going to go deeper in depth later. So in their environment, right, like if someone's like, okay, well, I want to get this body, I want to be fit with a specific body, but that means I have to go to the gym for an hour a day. And I can't do that because I have kids, right? And I get off work at 5 and I've got to be at daycare by 5:30. I've got to be home at 6. I've got to have dinner on the table by 7, bath time 7:30. Here's 8 o'clock. And, there's not enough time, right? I have a family. I'm too exhausted. To work out, right? So if we know what they're coming from, we also know what we can sell, like where they're coming from in terms of like what's wrong in my environment. We also know what we can sell them, right? I think I'm going to teach a portion just for, people who want to better understand how to select products with like product selection on Amazon, because that's really helpful too, right? Super helpful to know like what you should be selling on Amazon based on what people actually are thinking and need to buy. So for their environment, like there could be not enough space for workout equipment. There could be a not enough money issue. Like they feel like there's not enough money to purchase supplements, right? So their bank account is low. They could believe that, let's see here, for weight loss, like not enough time. I have family too exhausted to work out. For equipment, the equipment isn't safe for kids. right? Takes up too much space. I can't stick to a schedule because of my work environment, work, family environment, things like that, right? So the thing is, so when we're looking at this and we're using it for belief change, right? And we're using this to take them from state A, which is I'm fat and that won't change because, and then all of the excuses they give themselves, which are the objections in our product that we have, or the client's product that we have to overcome. To state B, I want to look fit and turn heads and feel alive and capable of, tackling anything that comes my way, right? We have to be able to identify one person. Okay, we're always selling to just one person, and how they feel about all of this. Okay, because what happens with most sales copywriting programs and most sales copywriters, the reason they get stuck in this customer awareness level 2 and miss out on all the conversions from 3 and 5 is because they're thinking very much like, yes, I'm selling to one person, right? But what they're thinking about is they're only thinking about the objections to the product. They're not thinking about the objections within the person, right? And people don't buy products, they buy feelings. And so when we can come at it from a therapeutic standpoint and we can look at what they're struggling with internally, right? This is how understanding what they're struggling with internally, this is how we can craft that belief change that allows us to gain the higher conversions that only come from being able to get inside someone's head and heart in customer awareness level 3, like be their guide, right? This is essentially like be their guide. Okay. So we can become their guide and their trusted confidant, right? And someone who they feel is very much like them because people buy from people like them. Um, and gain those conversions in customer awareness level 3. And then we can also come down here and gain the conversions in customer awareness level 5. Because this is where all of your competitors and the other sales copywriters, for the most part, not everyone, there's some really great ones out there who understand this customer awareness level 3 and awareness level 5. I've taught them, right? But most people live in that customer awareness level 2, right? That's where they write from. So we are going to write from this as well, right? But we're going to focus really heavily as well on advancing beyond the stereotypical direct response copy, which lives in customer awareness level 2. And we're going to go to customer awareness level 3 and customer awareness level 5. I just call them CA level 3, CA level 5, right? Are there any questions so far about that? No? Okay. Okay, awesome. I think there's still only a couple of people on. Give me a second. Yep. Okay, so it's still just the 3 of us. So we're doing great. Give me a second here. So when we're looking at this, right, our entire goal is literally to convince them as a therapist, right? So when you're writing sales copy, think of yourself as a therapist, as a counselor. Our job as their best friend. Our job is to convince them that a product is best for them and it's going to help them overcome all of these different areas, right? Not only is it going to get them the results that they want in terms of body, but it's going to help them feel empowered. It's going to help them, like we're helping them shift into an identity of someone who is fit, right? We're literally doing belief change. Like we call it, belief craft or change craft. We're literally changing their belief using words that sell, right? So that they purchase a product. And obviously we only do that if we really believe in the product. We don't ever want to do that if it's like, if someone brings you something and it's not going to be effective, like pass, right? You don't have to take every single person who comes along, right? Um, we need to help them understand that they're capable of doing this and they're listing as their therapist, right? Or you can think of yourself as like a life coach. Like your listing is like a life coach. You prefer life coach over mental health therapy, right? And we have to help them see how this will fit into their busy, crazy, tiny, environment or their crazy, hectic lives, right? So we have to do all of that to garner those higher conversions. Okay. So the most important thing to remember is that when we're doing this, we're doing it for the greatest good of all involved, right? Most of us are highly ethical. Okay. So we know that people need what we're promoting, right? They need the product that we're selling as sellers, or even if it's like a wine rack, right? Or like something that's beautiful. Like I just went and spent a bunch of money on Christmas decorations, right? And it makes me feel good about myself and good about my family and things like that. Like people need that good feeling, right? So even if it just brings somebody a good feeling and they need that good feeling, we know that we're giving them something that they need. Okay. So we have to keep that in mind, right? Before we start taking this power into our own hands and trying to convince people to buy things. I'm sure you've experienced that where you've gone and bought something that is like you're so excited, and you go from feeling excited about it to feeling devastated when it doesn't work, right? We need to keep that in mind, that we're actually not overselling, that we're selling only the emotion that we can deliver them, and we're selling only the product and the benefits that product delivers, and not doing something unethical. Because we can literally, I can make up a product out of thin air. Okay. I can make up something that doesn't exist at all. Okay. I can make a list of features. I can make a list of benefits. I can put up a website and I can sell it really easily and connect it to a payment thing, and then never deliver and have the product not exist. Right. And that can really mess with people's heads. Okay. And it's not something I'd ever do. But that's essentially, a lot of times it's what we end up doing as sales copywriters. Is someone comes to us and they say, we have this product, here are the features, like we know 4 things about it. It's a PL, private label product. We sourced it from China. Good luck. Like, that's how it literally works sometimes. And you have to go through and do all of this and figure out what the other features are compared to their, competitors' features, and what the benefits are and the transformation it provides. Like, we have to figure all of that out, right? So you can, if you think about it, the power to sell with words is almost like it's like a gift, an ethical gift you have to be very, very careful with, right? And I'm just saying that as a caveat at the very beginning. And now I'm going to circle back to what we're actually learning. So when they're in, right, in state A, right, which is they're in a state that we call a non-resourceful state, okay? They're not able to internally select the emotions that they need to achieve a resourceful state. The words that we use help to kind of trigger those emotions, like psychologically trigger those emotions, to get into the resourceful state of, this could work for me. Hopefully this will work for me. I have hope, which is one of the most important states we have to get people in when they're buying. I have hope that this will work. I have hope and I want to believe that this will work. That is how we move them to state B, where they start visualizing, seeing themselves owning the product to the point, and we don't even have to have them visualize seeing themselves owning the product necessarily. We just have to trigger those emotions, right? And we're going to go into how to do that using hot button words in either the next lesson or the lesson after that. Okay. So we're going to move them from state A to state B. Let's see here. And we do that by therapeutic, like being their counselor, essentially, right? And again, we're going to cover all of this more in depth and exactly how to do this. The reason that we're going over this today is because we need to move you, just like I did, from state A to state B. Okay. And in order to do that, you have to understand what we've just talked about. And then we also have to look at which states you need to move into. Okay. So the states that you need to move into, right? One is that I am a top 10% sales copywriter. Okay. And whether you're a business owner taking this program, which is awesome, yay, we love having you in the class, or you're someone who's aspiring to do what I do, which is a job that I really love, I'm super passionate about still, right? And I'm passionate about teaching it, which is really literally creating money out of thin air. That is what we do with sales copy. Otherwise, all you have is all you have is a product, right? And if you went out on the street and you just stood there and you held this, right? You didn't talk about it. You didn't talk about the features, the benefits. You didn't paint a picture in their mind of how they can use it, how it's going to transform their lives, things like that, right? You just have this, right? The words are what sell the product. So when you're a sales copywriter, you are literally creating money out of thin air. That is your job, right? And a lot of times what you're given, you don't, you can you can hand select all the products you want to, right? I tend to like a challenge. So you can say, okay, well, I'll only work with people who already have an amazing product, right? And they already know everything amazing about it. That's a good place to start when you're first starting out, because then you start to kind of train your brain on, what to look for and things you can say about other products where the Amazon seller doesn't know how amazing their product is, or they can't figure out and most people don't, they have no idea when they come to you and, you send them a questionnaire and they fill it out and they send it back and you're like, okay, so you've told me 5 things about your product, but those are the same 5 things everybody else is saying about their product. So how do we know it's amazing, right? Like what else is amazing about it? What positions it as superior? And we'll get into superior positioning a little bit down the road, right? That's after we gather and collect data because we need to know what we're positioning against. Okay. So they come to you and they've got this, this thing, right? And they say, okay, well, I need you to take this thing and I need you to write words that are going to create money out of thin air so that when I send traffic, which are people, they say traffic, those are humans. Really, they're sending human brains, right? When I send other human brains to look at it, those human brains say, oh, that's the box for me. I believe that that's the box I need to get. Okay. So, and again, this cute little box had earrings in it or something. I don't know. Like we have to learn to sell something that's very boring, like a box. So in order to do that, you have to have a mindset shift to being a top 10% copywriter in your mind. And you also have to have a lot of times, and this may not be everybody, but you have to have a big mindset shift around money. Okay. So, because your job is to make people a lot of it. And if your job is to be the person who creates money out of thin air, you have to have a positive belief about money and the good that it can do for you, for your clients, for reaching more people, for your family, for everything. A positive belief about money is essential to being a top sales copywriter, right? Because that's what you're doing. You're not just helping business owners, you're helping them make money, right? There are people who go in and they help business owners cut costs, right? That's not what we do. What we do is we make the money. And when I first started out, I had two really, really poor beliefs, right? One of them was that I was like, oh, I don't need the money. Like, you don't have to pay me very much, right? Like, it's okay. I'll just do it, right? Like, I don't need money. Okay. And the second one was that, people who made a bunch of money weren't good people, right? And selling someplace like Amazon, you have to have a belief that money is good and that money can be good, and an understanding that it's the people who do things with money that make money good or not good, right? Because the more money you have, the more you can help other people. So we're going to go through a little exercise here, actually a couple of them, right? To learn how to look at shifting your beliefs, right? Your mental set point on your identity and your beliefs, okay? And you can take this as far as you want, or you can do this, very lightly and say, okay, maybe I'll circle back to this when I'm feeling more comfortable with this. No one is born a sales copywriter. No one's born a top 10% sales copywriter, and nobody is really born with the ability to make money or create money out of thin air using words. Okay. So if you think about it from that perspective, like a lot of people say, okay, well, some people are just natural born salespeople. Some people are natural entrepreneurs, right? Some people are born that way. Most people who are successful in these two fields, entrepreneurship and sales copy, aren't really born that way, right? We're all born like naked, little like balls of fat. Like that's how we're born, right? We're all little babies when we're born. We're completely impressionable, and there's very little within us, that already exists, right? A lot of what comes out of it is nurture, and you can nurture this ability within you. Okay, so the best way I found to do this, with the state change, going from believing that you don't have what it takes to become a top 10% copywriter or Amazon copywriter, right, to being that super confident. You're not going to be confident 100% of the time. No one will, but mostly confident most of the time that you can craft the highest conversions out there. The person who has the identity and the beliefs and the capabilities to do this no matter their environment, right? Sometimes I have to do this just to I have to get a project off to a client because we're launching something. And I'll be traveling with the kids in the van. Like we just bought this big shuttle, right? We just went on this vacation we went on we called it a family moon instead of a honeymoon because we took the kids with us after my husband and I just got married last Thursday, right? And we went on this family moon, and I had stuff that was I had to get it done. And when we think, okay, well, I have a project that's due, right? If you work for a regular, if you work in a business and you have a job and that project is due, a lot of times there's somebody else who can pick up the pieces so you take a vacation, right? This time of year with me specifically, I don't usually take a vacation this time of year because I'm like a really flat company. There's a couple people who assist me, right? And we're building more people underneath, more sales copywriters, because then, that's part of what this program does is we're training people. It's because we have a lot more need than we have capacity to serve right now. But I'm sitting there in my environment, I'm sitting here in the shuttle and there's music blaring and there's kids arguing, and there are the phones going off through the car speaker. Like, all of this stuff is happening, right? So you have to have that belief that you are the identity, that you are a top 10% sales copywriter. I believe I can do it no matter what. I believe that if I don't know how to do it right in that second, the resources will come to me, and they do, right? You can find the resources, you can find the hot buttons to sell, you can find the skepticism points, you can find the right positioning angle. You have to have that belief in yourself, the belief that I can write the persuasive words, and I will give you all the persuasive phrases you need. Okay. You are literally, by the time you're done with this, going to be doing research, understanding the person's skepticism, understanding their hot button points, and almost filling in the blanks, and then adding your own flourishments, like your own writing style, and adding your own, like the features and the benefits. Okay. Like, this is going to be so systemized by the time that you have completed this class that if you get stuck, all you have to do is follow the research process I'm going to teach you, right? Which involves an Excel spreadsheet. It's that simplified. And then go and look through the different bullet points, right? And the different phrases you can use. And if your brain gets stuck, you just put them together, and your brain will start to say, okay, we need to tweak this and this and this, right? You will be at that point by the time that you've completed this program. And your brain may not believe it now. It may think, oh my gosh, we're talking about all of this stuff today, and I feel like I'm being fire hosed with information, right? Something to remember is we can always circle back. You're with me while we're training for 12 weeks. You're with me for 6 months. And obviously, if you have questions after that, you can always circle back, and ask me those questions. But what we're trying to do is just get to that point to build that confidence of like, I know how to do this, and I can sit down and look at a blank piece of paper, and I can just start writing. And if I can't, I know how to do research to find the things to write, and I know how to plug them in to neurolinguistic programming phrases, to direct response copy phrases, and to conversational hypnosis phrases, and put that together to create a title and bullet points and an EBC, a plus section or description that sells. I know how to do that for, power bullets on images. I know how to do that in a video script because I have the script and the pattern to follow, right? So we want to reach that point. That's our state B, is that we feel confident that we have the resources and can find the resources to do that. State B is not necessarily like, I'm a top 10% copywriter, and like, I can look at a blank piece of paper, and like, I know everything about everybody and every product and everything, and I don't have to do any research. You're always going to have to do research at some level, right? So state B isn't like you're stepping out into the world and you can just like go like download this from the universe or from universal consciousness, which a lot of, like, I've been doing this for so long. A lot of times I do. I swear I have clients saying like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I would have written. That's exactly what I was trying to write. I love this. I want to buy my own product. And they're like, wow, I thought of these 3 phrases and didn't even say anything. So sometimes it does start feeling like it does start feeling a lot more natural, right? But just knowing the state B is that you can find the resources, and you can make it happen. You have the confidence to make it happen, right? So that's what we're going for state B. So the exercise that you're going to do a little bit later, you can do it now if you want, but a lot of times it helps to have, if you can find a quiet space. In my house, it's a little bit tricky. If you can find a space, and here's how I say it as a mom with a baby who grabs everything. If you can find a space during nap time where no one is going to just be trying to, even if like you have to put headphones in one ear to try to block out something, or both, and you have you can do a sheet of paper, or I prefer to type things, where no one's going to be hitting your keyboard or grabbing your pencil. That's really all you need. And you're going to go through this exercise where you're going to be sitting in a movie theater, right? At first, and I don't know, some people may have already done this before. If you've done anything with Landmark, neurolinguistic programming, Psych K, anything where you're looking at actually shifting your internal submodalities or your anchors, you've probably already done exercises like this. But you're going to look at a movie screen. Imagine you're sitting in the middle of a theater, like a regular movie theater, wherever you're most comfortable, okay? And when you're sitting in the middle of that movie theater, you're going to look up on the screen, and you're going to see yourself sitting across from you, okay? So you now is going to be sitting across from you, future you, who we're bridging together with you now, okay? So you're going to imagine you're sitting there, and you guys can be at a restaurant. Maybe you're enjoying coffee by the fire. For me, I'm usually enjoying wine with myself after a really successful day. I know there's a lot of people who don't drink, so it's totally fine. Um, like whatever works best for you, right? So you're sitting in a comfortable environment and you're sitting across from this version of you. Okay. Maybe you're just meeting them for the first time. Maybe you've thought about being this person for a long time. And what you want to start noticing is you want to start observing. First, you want to observe their physical characteristics. Okay. What color is their hair? How are they doing their makeup if they wear makeup? Right? How are they wearing their hair? What kind of clothing are they wearing? How are they sitting? Are they sitting up really straight and rigid? Or are they like leaned back a little bit and confident? Are their legs crossed? What type of shoes are they wearing? How are their hands positioned? You're looking at what we call the physiology, your internal physiology scope of success. Okay. So, with your internal physiology scope of success, you can literally change the state and how you feel about yourself and how confident you feel or how you appear um, in a matter of seconds just by changing your physiological positioning. So if you sit up straighter and you're still relaxed, but you sit up straighter, your shoulders are back, and you smile and you put your hand on your collarbone, the center point of your collarbone, okay, you can actually shift into a more confident state in seconds, right? If you're feeling unconfident, like if you're feeling, self doubt, unconfident, if you're feeling a lack of confidence and you're feeling self doubt, right? So that physiology is really important to jot down. How were they, if they stand up, how are they standing? Do they stand with their hands on their hips? Do they stand, with their shoulders back? Are they, like, where are their feet pointed? You want their feet always in the movies. You always, anytime you're imagining this person, the successful version of you, you want their feet pointed towards you. If someone's feet are pointed away from you, it's like they want to run, right? You're trying to align with this person. So you're pointing your feet towards them, they're pointing their feet towards you. Okay. And I'll have somebody transcribe all of this. Like I have a person, an assistant who can transcribe all of this. So it's not just these notes. So you'll have a more in-depth version of this as well. So, you've looked at that. Like, think about what scents do they wear? Scents, SCENTS. How do they smell? When they're speaking, when they're noticing people walking by, are they smiling at people walking by? Are they in their own little world looking directly at you? How do they speak to the waiter when they come over? If you're in a restaurant, how are they speaking to the barista or barista in a coffee shop? Right. Um, let's see here. How do they imagine they answer a phone call? How do they speak to clients? I almost never speak with clients on the phone, although I'm really getting into it because I'm getting to the point where I want to hear every single objection that they can possibly throw at me because I want to make sure that we're giving the best possible, like creating the best possible packages for everybody. And so a lot of times I'll put myself in that line of fire, right? How are they speaking to clients? What are clients saying? Are they speaking you want to hear them speaking in a confident tone. You want to hear them, and we're literally creating somebody you're going to step into here in a minute, right? So we want to have them be this version of you that you need to see yourself as to achieve this state B, right? Are they, like when they're speaking to confidence, or to clients, are they laughing a little bit? Are they joking around with clients on the phone? If they're on speakerphone, does the client feel confident with the person, with this version of you, right? What sounds are they hearing around them? What type of music are they listening to? You're basically deciding who you're going to be, and you'll still be you, right? But you're deciding who you're going to be when you are a top 10% Hypnotic Amazon copywriter, or when you're in a business where every time you want to launch a product, you can generate 25%, 45% conversions. And like people will say, oh, well, that's a competitive niche. And you're like, yeah, but I see the money and I know how to do this, right? I can find the resources to knock this out of the park and blow this out of the water and be in like the top few positions for my main keywords within a few weeks, right? I have the confidence to know that I have the resources to do that, right? So a lot of this has to do with, we looked before, like, the higher power, right? Everybody believes they're empowered to be able to do this at some level, or they wouldn't be in this class if they didn't believe at least that it was possible, right? And that it's what they wanted. They're, like, and then this time we're looking, this is identity. You're setting a new identity anchor, right? And you don't have to, you don't have to share with anybody what it is. Maybe you're the type of person who wants to wear, $2,000 outfits and be able to go to, go out to dinner with other Amazon sellers or with clients and not even look at the menu when you order. Um, when it doesn't, the price doesn't matter. Like you can go and do whatever you want. The price doesn't matter. And maybe you're the kind of person who's more like, okay, well, I know that the more money that I make, the more I can help other people and the more I can change the world. So I'm still going to dress the same way. But when I'm having this conversation with clients, it's going to be like, hey, yeah, of course I can help you, or you're talking to other nonprofits like, hey, yeah, we can help the people in your country launch these products too, on Amazon and help, sustain these individuals, like Ellie does with the individuals in Nepal with the, like the hats, right? With the wool stuff, right? So you can have it doesn't have to be, it shouldn't ever be somebody else's model of who they think you should be. And it should never be your model of what someone else thinks you should be and who they think you should be. It should be your model of your most comfortable, confident self and how you want to feel and how you want to be perceived, right? So after you have run through this exercise and written down your observations, and you're welcome to come share them in class, but you don't have to. Um, you're going to be looking at that movie screen and you're going to exit your seat when you feel comfortable and you're going to go down the aisle where all the lights are and you're going to step into that movie screen. Okay. And you're currently in that movie screen. You're the person sitting across from your most successful self. Right. And you want to kind of position yourself at first, you're sitting across, like step into the person you are sitting across from your most successful self. Okay. And then when you feel comfortable, you're going to get up and you're going to walk around the table and you're going to step into your most successful self. And it can take a couple tries to feel comfortable stepping in your most successful self. A lot of times you'll find things like you'll lose the vision. Your subconscious mind will shut it down because it's trying to keep you safe because any change is seen as a threat, right? But this is a really good exercise to practice and then start seeing things from that successful self's position. Okay. Um, Start seeing, like, look at the menu from their position. How do they feel? Look at the world around them. Look at the different perspective. Listen to the sounds that they hear, right? Smell what they're wearing if you can do that. One of the best things that we can do in terms of identity shifts, a really quick identity shifts, is go and buy a new perfume or cologne that we like. Even if it's not expensive, you can go to, like, oh my gosh, like an outlet store, right? And even just smell them. If you are in the position where you really have no money, go to an outlet store or perfumery and try out scents that you think will make you feel this way, right? Be in the successful identity and just get a bunch of the little cards that they give you and spray a bunch of cards and take those with you and say, okay, I'm going to go home and I'm going to try these and tell the salesperson, I'm going to go home and try these for a couple weeks and I'm going to see if I still like it. And, I'll come back if I decide that this is right for me. Right. And then you can make that one of your anchors in your mind. Like, okay, I am the successful person. I have the successful identity. I'm going to go and, like I can be taking actions like I would from the successful person's identity, right? And they're in you. All of these people are in you. This whole person you're creating is in you, right? You're going to take actions from that person's identity, doing things like putting on that perfume, right? Even if you just have it on a card because you're not in a financial position yet to buy, the $200 perfume, right? Same thing with like the shoes. Go try on the shoes and take a picture, right? Go try on the suit and take a picture or whatever you want to wear and take a picture of yourself, right? That's the same, like go get all dressed up, dolled up, whatever it takes to become that identity and take a picture, right? So in the meantime, we're just going to be practicing getting into that state, okay, into the identity state of I'm a successful top copywriter, Amazon copywriter, okay, and then throughout the week, as you can, oh, I forgot something very important. Give them a name, okay? I need to put that in there. Like, give them a name, okay? Um, so when I first started out, I was when I first started out in the realm of sales, I was Diane Eilenfeld. This is 2 name changes ago. I was Diane Eilenfeld. And I went from being Diane Eilenfeld to being um like Big D. Okay. So I gave myself a name of Big D. I also gave myself a name of like Queen Di. Okay. And I kind of felt how those felt out, right? So you don't have to tell anybody this name and this may feel silly or sound ridiculous, but you need to have something to anchor it to, right? So when you go out in public and you're behaving like your current self and you're taking actions like your current self and your physiology, like the way you're standing, walking, whatever is like your current self, start seeing if you can shift into taking action and having behaviors and physiology from the point of the successful self, right? Are their shoulders back? Are they walking slower and more confidently? Are they breathing into their stomach with confidence as opposed to like, oh my gosh, okay, I've got to hurry and I've only got this much money, I've only got this much time, right? Like take this identity and create this identity and then start behaving from it in public, right? Smile more at people. If you're the kind of person who smile more at people, observe how other people who are, you can even go to YouTube and observe how other people who are like how you want to be, the identity you want to be, like what's their physiology? How are they dressing? How are they walking? How are they standing? How are they greeting others? How do they speak? Are they slow? Are they fast? I tend to be a very fast talker because I'm very, very excited and my brain fire hoses my mouth, which is why like slowing it down is really tricky, right? Which is why I record all these trainings and a lot of times don't do it live so people can just slow it way down, right? You can go and get any free video software and just turn this down to like half, like 0.5x, right? And just slow it down. And people who like things fast can speed it up, right? So for your homework, you're going to run through this exercise. You're going to write down your observations. You're going to step into that person as though they're a large movie screen. You're going to, like in the movie screen, you're going to give them a name. And then on a daily basis, start taking actions from that identity, right? Think about what they would buy. Would they spend, because they're top copywriters, if they went to buy pens and they like to write on paper, would they spend a bit more on pens that they really like to use, that they loved the flow of, right? Would they spend $1 more on those pens or $2 more? You know, start telling your brain like you have money, right? Like you spend a little bit more. When you go and, sales copywriters have we have a very, very interesting environment. Okay. So, like, a lot of people are trained to work. Here's a good way to take action. A lot of people are trained to work at a desk, right? I have not worked at a desk. I haven't owned a desk except for IRS tax write off purposes in a room that is not used very often. Um, I haven't worked from a desk in at least 5 years. I work from the car. I work from coffee shops. Right now, I'm sitting on my bed. I work on my bed a lot. It's very comfortable. I like working here. I can spread out. Start taking action. Like, I'm a top sales copywriter. I don't have to work directly at a desk unless I want to. I can go someplace else and work. And even if you don't have a laptop, you can take a notepad or some pieces of paper and whatever pen you spent an extra dollar on or whatever, because you love the way that it flows, right? You love the way that it feels and it doesn't stunt your creativity. And take that action. Go work someplace else. Work in your living room in front of a fire if you have one. Go work in a coffee shop, right? Start assuming that identity and taking action from that identity. There's so many things you can do to start reprogramming your mind, like literally reprogramming your mind that this is who I am and this is my level of success, that don't cost a ton of money or don't cost money at all, right? So that's our first homework, right? And then the second thing we're looking at is our comfort with money. Because in order to sell and be top sales copywriters, we have to be comfortable with money because that's what we're generating. And a lot of people I've seen, and I didn't used to teach this mindset portion first. I used to jump right into research, say, okay, we're going to do research, and here's how we find hot buttons, and here's how we find the skepticism points. And, like, here's how we're going to push those buttons and trigger those psychological anchors and submodalities and change their beliefs. Like, I used to go right into that. And I would have these amazing students who are generating amazing results, and they're all of a sudden like, I'm like, okay, it's great. So what are you charging? Or I didn't used to offer this as a certification. I just offered this as like a training program, right? I'd ask them, what are you charging? And they'd say, oh, well, I'm not really charging anything yet. Well, let me understand this. You've made this person 50,000 a month and this person 10,000 a month and this person, 100,000 in 3 months. And you've made this person all this money. And they're like, I'm not really comfortable talking about money. I'm not really comfortable asking for money. I'm not comfortable making other people money. I don't like money. I don't like the way money feels. And they're saying all of these negative things about money. I personally believe that money's not just an exchange of value, which you have to be comfortable with as a business owner and you have to be comfortable with as a sales copywriter. Money is almost an energy, right? And in my particular personal beliefs, money is an energy, right? And if you want more of something, you give it love. And if you want more of something for somebody else, you give it love, right? So my mantra with money, because we have to at least feel comfortable with it, if not love money at some level, and what it does for other people, my mantra is the more money I have, money is great because the more money I have, the more I can help other people, right? And that's absolutely true. So you can run through the same exercise as before, but instead of imagining yourself, imagine that money is sitting across from you in a restaurant as a person. Okay? Like, how are they sitting? Are their feet pointed towards you, or are they leaning back away from you like they don't believe in you? Are they, and this sounds silly, but I'm telling you, this is a really great mindset shift in terms of money, right? Like, can you imagine money suddenly being, if money seems cold and it's leaning to the side and it's like, ugh, very, like, I'm too cool for you, or, I'm an evil villain kind of person. Can you imagine it being like, what you can, your brain can do this. It can imagine it being warm, friendly, loving, like your mother, or somebody in your life who's very loving. Not everybody's mothers are loving. I shouldn't generalize, but, you can imagine money being warm and fluffy like a kitten. You can imagine money being extremely generous, like someone who passes out food at the food bank. You can imagine money, like money is generosity. Okay. Money is generosity in physical form, right? So think of all the positive things you love about people and start looking at the money across from you at the table and turning that money into that, right? Saying, okay, because there's no, money is not bad. There are people who use money for bad means, but those same people would do other things for bad means. Okay. Those same people would hurt people anyway. And the more money you have, the more you can help the people that have been hurt, right? The more money you have, and people are like, oh, you're all about money. I'm like, no, I was a nonprofit director and a special education teacher. But if you're a nonprofit and you don't have any money, you can't help people. And if you are a special education teacher and your school has no money, you can't help students. Like, money is just a fact of life. So the more you have to get comfortable with it, right? That's one of the biggest saboteurs is people don't want to ask for money. They don't realize the more they have, the more they help other people. And they're literally writing words to make money. So if you're focused not to make money necessarily, but to generate money for somebody else, okay? It generates money out of thin air. That's our job. So we're going to go from the state A, okay, of I'm not comfortable with and I don't love money, or I don't love money, right? I'm not comfortable talking about money. Like, if I can imagine myself walking into a room and I told my family I'm making what I want to be making, whatever dollar figure that is for you, they would react negatively in some fashion, right? Like, I come from a background where they're not comfortable with money. I come from, like, my wife wouldn't be comfortable, my partner wouldn't be comfortable, my neighborhood wouldn't be comfortable. Like, people will look down on me, they'll think I'm bad, they'll think I'm evil, right? Like, look at it from that perspective too. If you're walking into a room, who's going to tell you that money is bad, right? We want to reframe those beliefs, and we're thinking about all the reasons money is good, right? So we're going to go from I'm not comfortable with and I don't love money to I love money, I feel comfortable with money, I use money to do good things, and money is great because the more money I have, the more I can help others. Okay, so I'm going to circle back. You're sitting across from money in a restaurant, and this is you currently, and you're looking up on that big movie screen, you're sitting in the theater, you're going to get out of your seat, walk forward, and step into yourself, right? And really observe on the movie screen and really observe money. Then you're going to look at anything you don't like about money that makes you uncomfortable. Okay. So is money turned away from you? Like, do you want money to seem like open, warm, friendly, confident, right? And think of things like, okay, well, how would money be sitting? Like, change that in your mind. If they were open and warm and they were confident and they were friendly, think about that friend who loves you so much they just want to hug you all the time, and like they always reach across the table and grab your hand, and they're super excited and they just love you to pieces, right? You want to see money as that person in your life. Okay. So you're transforming money and your version of your literal physiological vision of money in your mind into this, like, warm, loving, caring, open, wants to give to you, loves to help other people, like a nonprofit director who hands out cans, like who works in a soup kitchen, like making sure the hungry are taken care of, and who works at like a St. Vincent de Paul, which is like a store where people can go to get clothing for low cost, and there's other spaces in there where they give money, like clothes away for free, right? You want to have this really super positive view of money. Okay. So go through the questions here. How are they sitting? What are they wearing? How does money smell? I love the smell of money. I literally smell money on a regular basis. It has a certain smell and energy to it. And if you don't smell money, you might think it's crazy, but try it. It really has a distinct smell to it. And if you can anchor that smell to good, that's even better. But that's a side note. Looking at money, are they relaxed and confident? How does money speak to the waiter? How does money speak to the clients? Is money leaning forward or back? What sounds does money hear? What sounds do you hear? What sound does money make when it moves? And you can make money a human, a bunny rabbit, whatever you want, as long as you identify that as money. Okay. Um, what do they notice? Oh, thanks, McAfee. I'm glad there's no viruses. What do they notice about the world around them? If money orders food or coffee or a drink, what do they order, right? Does money even look at the prices on the menu? Same thing as you do with yourself and success, right? Your most successful version of yourself, okay? Then your homework for that, if you can, um, something that really helps me is writing down 10 things every day that money does for me. Okay. Does for my clients, does for my family. So, what bills does money pay? What does it provide for your family? Security, comfort, smiles, joy. It's good to think about, okay, well, I have security. That's not really an emotion. That's kind of relief, is kind of the emotion, right? Comfort is like, okay, well, I can flip on the fireplace anytime I want. Like, that's great. I have food that I like to eat. That's comfort. I have, you know, a couch I like to sit on. I have blankies I like to snuggle under. I have a bed that I absolutely love. I live on it all day when I'm working. Smiles and joy, right? My kids smiling like when they get a cookie. I can afford to go buy my kids a cookie. As someone who came from extreme poverty, um, most people don't know the extent of the poverty they came from extreme poverty, like third world country type poverty. um I still love looking for my kids' smiles. Like, I still feel grateful for things like I can go afford to buy a cup of coffee. I can go and I make a lot of money, and I can help a lot of people because I make a lot of money. But I still feel that joy of like, I can go afford to spend $4 on a cup of coffee. I can buy my kid a cookie whenever I want to. I can, even small things like things that seem small to other people, right? I'm not, I've owned the fancy home and the fancy cars and I've lived on an island. I've done all of that. But there's nothing like, and I don't anymore because it didn't bring those smiles and that joy, right? That wasn't what I really wanted, right? So now I drive a giant van and I live in the middle of the woods and I live in like a 2,000 square foot house. We need to get a bigger one because it's not big enough for all. I think it's 1,500 square feet plus the garage, right? But like, you have to think about what really brings your family smiles and joy and what really brings you smiles and joy, right? Not what people tell you should, not what everybody else is putting on Instagram and Facebook. And if that brings them actual smiles and joy, that's great. I'm not knocking them. But think about what money does that brings you comfort and security and your family smiles and joy, right? What does money provide for your community when you spend it, when you have it, when your clients have money? What does it provide for their community? Does it create jobs so other people can give their family security and comfort and smiles? Does it, you know, like I said, it provides for their security, right? I mean, so think about that. What does it provide to the people that you serve, to your clients? Or if you're a business owner, to your customers, right? On Amazon, like if you're selling on Amazon, what does it provide to your customers? Um, think terms of like the same things. Like, we have joy, we have comfort, we have security. You can go through, like, does it provide certainty, right? Does it provide surprise, like variety, right? These are the six human needs. Does it help people? Does it help you or other people feel significant or special? Right? There's that reverse ego symbol thing. I'll go into that in a minute. Does it help to generate connection or love? Do people feel loved? Is receiving gifts one of their love languages? Is like, I don't know if you've been through the five love languages. It's Gary Chapman. It's like we use that in sales copywriting, right? Like acts of kindness. Does money allow you to do acts of kindness for people, even small ones? Like, buying somebody, like buying a kid a piece of gum. That's a very small amount of money that generates a lot of connection and love, right? And their love language. Does it help you to continue growing? You guys invested in this class. And it helps you to grow, right? So money is a positive thing because it helps you to grow, right? Because if you're not growing, you're literally dying. Just like a business. If a business isn't growing, that business is dying, right? Does it help to contribute? Does it help you to feel like you can contribute to things? Can you give to good causes? Can you help causes launch their Amazon products? So go through money and think about it from that perspective. And if possible, write down 10 things every day that money does for you. It can be really simple. Like, today money made me smile because my child smiled because I could buy him a cookie. Today money made me smile today, money, paid for my heating bill. So I got out of bed and it felt warm. Today, money, I love money because I was able to afford to buy groceries for food for our, meals. And there are a lot of people in the world, and I'm sure you guys know this, but there are a lot of people who maybe can't afford to have 3 meals a day. So that's really, really important. Like, these are important things to observe about the positive things that money can do. And in the reality, there are people who will use money negatively, just like they'll use anything negatively. Those are people who are not good people. It's not the money that makes them do that. And it's not the pursuit of money that makes them do that. It's them as people, right? So we can be the good guys with the good money who do the good stuff, because the more money you have, the more you can help other people. Okay. So write down 10 things if you possibly can. You can do it all at once. You can write 70 things. You don't have to share them. You're welcome to. I would love to see these posted in class. I really would. This is stuff I do on a daily basis, and it feels really great when people come and start talking about, like, they love money because they were able to help somebody who didn't have a cup of coffee get a warm cup of coffee. You know, things like that. The third thing that we're working on this week, our third piece of homework. Okay. So we're going to go through those 2 visualizations. Okay. And we're going to write down the observations. We're going to write down 10 things every day that money does for you. That should only take you a few minutes to do. And you can do gratitude too. I'm so happy and grateful for money because I'm so happy and grateful that money did this for me, right? I'm big on gratitude. You can do that. And then our third assignment is anytime, because negative thinking is going to creep up all the time. Okay. As you're going through this, like, you sometimes may feel like today, you might feel like you've been fire hosed by information, right? Outside of asking, outside of realizing we can always slow down, you can always ask questions, and you've got all the time in the world to understand and master this. You really, really do. I'm not dropping anybody until this is mastered. Okay. And I'm not dropping anybody at all, but I won't leave anybody's side until they feel like they've mastered this. Right. Um, a lot of people coming out of these classes have become some of my closest friends. So, like, it's not like, okay, 6 months, we're never speaking again. It's like, I'd love it if you felt confident enough to tackle this most of the time yourself, within the first 12 weeks, and then come check back with me after you've written a listing for those next 6 months. We can do checkpoints or whatever. It's even knowing that sometimes you're going to find self-doubt and negative thinking about achieving this new identity and this new skill set, right? And money this week. So if you have the chance to start training yourself to activate the right sympathetic nervous system. You have a parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. You need to activate the resourceful one. Okay. So whenever you feel stressed out about this, or learning anything or doing anything, or you feel self doubt, or you start having negative thinking and you start identifying negative beliefs. Okay. What I do, and I have to do this a lot still with kids, especially when they start going haywire. I want you to take, between 4 and 10 deep breaths. For me, it takes 10, sometimes more. And I do 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out, hold for 4 seconds. And I cycle through that. Right. And that calms me down to the point where I can find a neutral state, because we're changing our state from self doubt and negativity which is state A, to state B, which is confidence, positivity, excitement, happiness, calm confidence, that kind of thing. So you're going to take 10 deep breaths in, 4 in, hold for 4 seconds out, and then hold for 4. You can hold for 2 at the end, but I like to hold for 4. Think of something neutral. Okay. Like, I like to think of the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty. I heard somebody likes to think of the Eiffel Tower. Anything that's a building, like a picture of a building that doesn't trigger any kind of emotions, it just puts you in a neutral state, right? You want to do that. You want to see that vision in your head. And if you need to, print out a little card to keep in your wallet so you can achieve that neutral state and look at that building if that's what it takes, right? That's what I had to do at first, because I was really not calm. I had a lot of anxiety over learning this stuff, you know, a long time ago. It was over a decade ago. And then just decide the state you want to experience, right? Decide how you want to feel. Do you want to be happy? Do you want calm confidence? Do you want to feel excited? And now that you're in a neutral state, it's really easy to go from being anxious and I can't do this and I've been fire hosed by information to feeling very positive and getting into this other state, right? So for me, a lot of times I have to move from being really stressed out with kids losing their minds, because we have 7 kids in this house, and that and 2 dogs, and sometimes they don't all get along, right? And sometimes 10 things will happen in 4 seconds and you can't stop them all and keep everybody safe. So I'll start feeling, like, like, okay, and I won't be yelling because I don't want to yell, but I'll start taking deep breaths in. And as I'm doing that, I'll think of the Empire State Building. Okay. And then I can decide I want to be a calm, loving, confident mom, right? And so I can imagine even for 5 seconds, I can put a smile on my face because smiling does change the hormones that you release, and you start releasing more serotonin when you smile. Okay. So I can put a smile on my face, and then I can stand up and relax my shoulders and realize like where my tension is in my body and relax that. And just imagine for a few seconds that I'm sitting in front of a fireplace or I'm outside with Mark taking a walk or a hike. And those are things that's pretty much the mindset portion of this. If you can get into that mindset, everything else just becomes, I'm not kidding, it becomes almost copy paste once you learn it. It becomes, this mindset is the key piece. The piece about being like your successful identity, the piece and feeling comfortable in that identity, and the piece about money. Once you gain those and you learn to change your own states, like we just were talking about in that third homework piece, from stressed out mess to calm confident mom. Once you learn that, everything else is going to come so easily to you in every area of your life, not just in sales copy, because then you'll know how to change your identity. Let's say you decide that in 2 years you want to be a helicopter pilot. Right now Mark is pursuing becoming a helicopter pilot, like a private sector and medic sector one, instead of all the stuff he did in the military for like 20 years. um, you can change your identity to that using these methods. These are really useful tools to have for anything you want to achieve in life. And I figure if I give you this, you can start getting automatic wins here and automatic wins in other areas of your life, because maybe you've been the person for a long time who's like, well, I really want to lose weight. Like, I haven't been trying to lose weight. I love my body just the way that it is. And now I'm kind of reaching this point of like, okay, I want to be able to run up hills again. That's important to me because I have a baby I'm chasing everywhere. Um, you can use that state to start seeing yourself as someone who's fit and taking action, and go through all of these and take action from that state. You're also going to need this when you're looking at, when you're trying to figure out what your client state B is. What you guys have just learned is the foundation for therapeutic copywriting. Every single thing you're going to learn builds on this foundation. So practicing this homework and learning how to change these states is critically important, because you're going to learn how to use words essentially following templates for conversational hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, some CIA deep covert methods that I've learned, and then, psychological triggers. We're going to be following templates to learn to use this as a foundation to learn how to change people's beliefs and states, just using words and images on Amazon in a way that your competitors, they won't be able to compete unless they hire someone like like your clients' competitors won't be able to compete, because they're only going for that. They only know how to go for that customer awareness level 2 conversion, which is that 6 to 18% ish mark, right? 6% is on average. I've seen people converting at 1 and 2%, which is really scary to me. Some are converting at less than that, and they're just doing features, right? So features and benefits fall underneath customer awareness level 2, and we're learning customer awareness level 3 and customer awareness level 5, so we can master belief craft and change people's beliefs about themselves and about the product and about what they're capable of and what they can do with their environment, and what's possible. We're using all of this foundational NLP stuff in our sales copy. So this is really, really important. Mastering this means that everything else is going to be easy. If you decide to skip this, that's okay. I wouldn't advise it, because as we're going forward, we're going to refer back to state change a lot. What state are they in now? State A, what state do they need to get to? State B. We're going to use the emotions wheel to figure out which emotions we need to trigger to get them to that state. So understanding the emotions you're going through here is really important, right? We're going to be using those things that I taught you: the higher power, identity, beliefs, capability, and environment. Those are where their objections are going to lie. That's called the NLP 5 logical levels. Okay, it ties in between neurolinguistic programming, belief change, like identity and life change, because you change the inside so you can change the outside. So we're changing the inside. We're literally helping them change the inside so they can make the right choices, take the right actions to change their outside reality, right? Whether that's buying a supplement or a piece of exercise equipment or a new wrench. So their wife's happy and the toilet is fixed, or their husband's happy because the wife fixed the toilet, not trying to be, gender socialized here. So all of this is really, really important. So I hope that you're able to do this. The training, this is pretty much the end of the training portion of this right now. Your homework is right here. You can go through, if you want, you can go through the 6 human needs. And this pertains, I should probably move this up because this pertains more to give me a second here. How does money give you the 6 human needs? I should have moved this up earlier. Sorry, give me a second here. So that's the homework there. So we're going to say, we're going to call it Money Mojo. Okay. That's what I call my Money Mojo. So when you're going through here with what does money do for you? Here, we're going to paste this right here. How does it give you certainty, which is, also security, right? Uncertainty, variety, the need for surprise. How does it make you feel significant? All of that is right there, right? So these are things you can use. You can ask, how does it give me these things? Does it give me these things, satisfy my 6 core human needs? Okay. We are in Q&A now. If you guys have any questions, I think there's only a few people on right now. Give me a second. Yep. Hi, you guys stuck with me. You're still there. Hi. Okay, see, I think Mohammed is there. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go back on myself. You guys can see me now. Hi. See what I said about environment? I'm literally like, this is my bedroom. And it's, like I sit on my bed and I work all day because that's where I'm creatively anchored to do my best work as opposed to sitting. I see somebody sitting outside. Who I'm so sorry. Who am I talking to sitting outside?
I'm Pepper.
Hi, Pepper. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
I'm Diane.
You
So
too.
sorry. I should have people introduce themselves.
I started out on my bed, but it's so nice outside.
I was outside yesterday. I'm in Washington. Where are you at? Where are you located?
I'm near Kansas City, Missouri.
That's so cool. My best friend up the hill. My husband's from Missouri. My best friend up the hill is from Missouri. And my other best friend over here is from Missouri. I love people from Missouri. I can't stop falling in love with people from Missouri. Yeah, Mark is from Missouri. So yeah, like they're amazing. I lived in Indiana for 8 years, which is kind of the same vibe. So I really liked that. But yeah, Missouri is really cool. His mom's still there. His sisters are there. He's the oldest of. No, he's not the oldest. He is one. I think he's. See, I think he's the middle child of 6. He's like one of the 2 middle of 6. I'm the oldest of 7, and now we have 7.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, those Missouri big families. I'm telling you. Okay,
we have 9.
9 kids.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Oh my gosh, and what's so funny? Like I keep telling people, after you have 3, like once you have 4 or more, as long as the other ones are grown up a little bit, like there's no difference. There's actually more. It's easier to have 7 kids with 4 of ours are in middle school. It's easier to have 7 than it is to have like 3 little ones. It really is. Oh man, I had Addie and Tucker a year apart, my oldest 2, and then I had Lily. I want to say 2 years after that, and so I had a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, or no, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and an infant at home. Wow. And that's when I launched this business. Was when Addie was born. She was in the NICU for 4 months because she was born 4 months early. And I had to do something besides go to work because she couldn't really go to daycare. And then one day, like I finally got her in daycare. And one day her daycare called and was like, "We're shutting down tomorrow." And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And, my boss is like, "I guess you got to quit because nobody else will take her." So I had literally, I want to say like, I had like $12. I was working a nonprofit. I had $12 left to my name and I had to quit my job and start a business. Wow. So I know that like, if I can do this, anybody can do this.
That's awesome.
I'm not kidding. Okay. So who else do we have in the room? I see. Is it Tin? Am I saying that right? Or Teen?
Hi.
Hi.
All the way from Philippines.
Yay, the Philippines. We have so many amazing people coming out of there. We have for like so many amazing copywriters. We have for like at first there were a lot of people who were just doing, and nothing, I mean, not that it was just doing, but like they're doing virtual assistant work. And all of a sudden there are people over there who are like, a lot of what a lot of Americans don't know is that a lot of people in the Philippines, in India and Pakistan areas are extremely well educated, speak multiple languages, know more than we ever will, have far more education than we ever will, but they're doing things like inputting data into Excel spreadsheets. And I'm like, we've got to get these people on board with the harder stuff. They know more than we do, like this isn't really, this is going to be fun. So, when I first started teaching this in 2017, I had he's now my he's my project director for my company. And he started with me and he's like, I want to be a sales copywriter. And he's from Pakistan and he has like a master's degree in engineering. And I'm like, good Lord, I've got a bachelor's degree in like sociology. Right. So, and he ended up being my project director and he's still with me like almost 5 years later now. So he started off as a sales copywriter with me and then he went into keyword research and now he manages all of our client projects, especially the media side. So, like if you want, he likes sales copywriting, but we decided he's much better at keeping me organized than sales copywriting. So we kind of we made a role for him for that. Okay, who else? Muhammad, are you there still? I don't see him on screen. I don't know who else can, I don't know if it's just us on screen. Let's see here, 11:35. Let's see.
Actually,
Is anyone else?
Neri and the other one, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but they are asking if it ended already. I asked them to join.
No, there's Neri. Hi, Neri.
Hi, Diane. Hi. I'm not sure the other two. Let me see the name.
Pepper and Teen or Tin?
Pepper and Tin?
Yes. Hi, Neri.
Hi. Nice to meet all three of you. Finally, we actually see face to face. Let me see if I can turn on my camera. Hold on. Oh.
You can if you want. You don't have to.
I'm turning it on, but it's not turned on. Can you see me?
I can see your picture, but not your face.
It's a turn on camera. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's take a while for the block message to come up. Here we go.
Hi. This is such a dynamic group of women right now. It's so awesome. We also have, is that Muhammad's? Okay, Muhammad's typing on the side.
Just to let you know, I'm also working, so I'm gonna mute myself and listen to you guys.
What are you working on? Are you doing secret covert government stuff?
You can say that.
I knew it. Okay, so we also have, there's a couple people who aren't on today who are really awesome that I think everybody's gonna love. Ellie and I have worked together for a long time, and Ellie runs a nonprofit and she has like they make like no money off their Amazon business. But they go into Nepal and they help women who don't have any way to sell their crafts. Like these are wool crafts, like hats and, oh my gosh, I want to say gloves, scarves, things like that. They're amazing wool crafts. I bought some of them, or actually she sent me some of them because I do her work pro bono, which means I don't charge her for it, because I want to help elevate these women in Nepal, right? So I bought them and they were absolutely amazing. And then I set them down and one of my children lovingly washed and dried them for me. So they're like this big. But we have Ellie. She's really awesome. And then we have Christine, who I don't think she's here right now. She's probably running her tail off. Christine is the brand. I don't know if you guys know Lux Organics. She's really awesome too. She was not an Amazon seller at all a few years ago. And she started having like a hormone disruption as a woman and like couldn't figure out what was going on. And she found out it was all about these products that she was using on her body. And so she went out with like no knowledge and developed this really high selling line of products on Amazon. And so she's a really great resource too. And we're working on relaunching a couple of her products right now too. So we've got some great business owners and we've got some great, aspiring copywriters. And so I think all in all, it's going to be, I'm like fussing with my hair because like I look funny in my camera. I'm like, oh, I think all in all, it's going to be really, really fun. Did anybody have any questions? I know, Neri, that you missed the training. I have it recorded for you. It was all about like changing your state and your identity. You're going to love it.
Okay, I will definitely watch that.
Yes, it was. We did
I love
NLP, and
it.
it's the foundational NLP and conversational hypnosis, changing our own state so we can learn how to shift the customer state on Amazon through a sales copy. And we were saying once you go through this, then once you kind of master this portion of it, everything else, learning everything else becomes just like rote. It's like copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, right? Because you have to achieve this state first, this identity first. And so that's our first work this week, is actually mindset and identity work, which is going to be really fun. I'm going through it again with you guys. I'm rewriting my person, who's my top sales copywriter self, but I'm rewriting it. I did this about 2 years ago and went from a top sales copywriter to being an executive creative director, because I noticed that my clients were having challenges with the other portions of their Amazon listings, like their images and brand alignment and things like that. I'm like, I know all this stuff, but I didn't have the confidence to get out there and do it. And so when I go to, provide guidance and consulting on this, my brain would go, it would just freeze and shut down. It was awesome. So yeah, that's essentially what we've done today. I'm going to hang out here until, I think I said until 2. I might jump off in just a minute for a break. If anybody wants to jump back on. And then if anybody wants like help writing a listing today or something, I don't know if anybody's working on any of them. You guys are all in here for the sales copy portion, right? The sales copy training, like you're going to want to get clients.
Yes.
Yes. Pepper, that's you.
Yes.
Is that you too?
We cannot hear you.
I can't hear you, Pepper. Oh, there you are.
Sorry. Actually, I do a little bit of Amazon myself. Is it possible to do both?
It is. My conflict of interest came in because I was in mostly the natural pest repeller space. And all of a sudden I had all of these clients who were selling essential oils. And then I had 3 clients approach me who were like the top 3 pest repelling type companies, like in the natural space. And they wanted me to do work for them. And so I said, I can't do that. And so one of them said, what if we just buy you out? And I said, wow, okay. Because I was only it wasn't like selling natural pest repellers. And I've been in the fitness space, right? I did foam rollers, and then I did like 3 foam roller listings in a week. And I was like, does anybody want to buy my listing? Because it's in like the second position and I'm doing all of this. And I feel like I'm competing against you and myself. And I don't really care about selling on Amazon. I do it like, because I wanted to understand the full process and understand the absolute dreaded pain that people go through to sell on Amazon. Same thing with, I've helped create a lot of supplements like stackers, right? So, but those are as passion products. So I have a stacker out there for polycystic ovarian syndrome. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. I have that. It's not really awesome. So it's like you get cysts around your ovaries and it prevents fertility, which obviously, like I fixed that problem. That's why I wanted to create a supplement for women to help with that. So I did that, and that was something that I did that with a pharmaceutical partner, and so I passed that along to them. And that's how I learned a lot about selling, and that was about 5 years ago, selling in the pharmaceutical space. So you can write for clients, but I would always advise that if you have one specific category that you're writing in, right? Like let's say that you are selling supplements for joint pain. Okay. Don't write for clients that sell supplements for joint pain. Because then you're like, how do they know that you're not delivering your best work because they're competing against you? Does that make sense? But for me, it just became like with so many kids, like there was a blooper with one of my, like, we've had all kinds of bloopers, but there was like a blooper where the manufacturer or the lab that was doing this polycystic ovarian syndrome thing, like they decided that like something went wrong. And so Amazon was like, we're going to burn all your products. And we're like, what? Like we only had like 500 there, but we didn't, so it was like, like I've been through that scramble too. But at that point in time, I wasn't writing for anything that dealt with hormonal supplements, right? While we were launching that and growing that. And now like I turned over all rights for that to the other person a long time ago, because for me, that was more of like a passion project. Like there's all these people who want to be moms and they can't. And for those of us who are moms, like You're like, okay, like I really wanted this. You know how it goes, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so things like, I mean, just make sure you're not competing directly with them, right?
Okay.
And as a wholesaler, like if you're doing wholesaling or arbitrage, my friend Jess does arbitrage. She's amazing at it. I don't know if you guys, does anybody here do arbitrage? Where you go and you find a product somewhere and then you sell, like you find 30 of them and you sell them at a higher price on
I've
Amazon?
done. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Just make sure you're not arbitraging your own clients.
Oh, good tip.
Because that is a conflict of interest and it's illegal in the US. So that's the other portion of that. Okay, so Neri, you're looking at, you've sold on Amazon. You're already good at sales copy. You're mastering, you're already an amazing writer, as we know. And you're now
Well,
mastering.
thank you. I'm gonna take that. Yes, thank you.
You are an amazing writer. You're an amazing writer. And now we're kind of tweaking that over to Amazon sales copy so you can work with me and have clients and things like that, right? So that's what we're looking at for you. And then Teen, are you doing the same thing? You're going from was it VA? What have you been doing?
I'm a virtual assistant.
Virtual
I'm a
assistant.
virtual assistant, Amazon virtual assistant, and I'd like to focus on copywriting. Actually, it's a product listing, but I want to be a copywriter, not just a product lister.
Yep. Okay, so you're going for the sales now instead of for just the optimization side of things for keywords. One of the big leaps that I would love to see you work on this week is instead of calling yourself a VA from now on, like when you speak to people, because a lot of people think of a VA as like an assistant, right? You are an you're an Amazon sales expert. And you can also do these other things you've been doing. Okay. So my name, is Tina. I'm an Amazon sales expert. I write words that generate money on Amazon. And if you happen to get stuck in these other areas, I've done this for so long that I can help you with, and then list off the things that you can do as a VA. Because something you can do, something that Muhammad Atif is doing, is he's gone out to people and said, I'll write 2 listings for free to prove that I can do it. Right. And you can go and say you can just be writing their listings for free and positioning yourself as this person right now. Like I'm a top Amazon sales, copywriter, and bring those listings to class and we can work on those. And then you're building your career from the very beginning. It's like a big win. And then now your VA stuff is like, well, yeah, I can still do all that stuff. But my specialty is this. This is what I'm really good at. And I'm really good at generating sales. And if there's a problem with something else, like, if you're doing stuff in the back of Seller Central, like I can help you with that too. And then what you'll do is you'll create like 2 packages. You're going to do one that's like your Hypnotic Amazon listing, right? Whatever you want to call it. We'll all work together to come up with names for things, whatever we want to call them. Okay. And like whatever you want to call it for your specific business. And then you can say, and here's my like upgraded package. Not only will I get you more sales, but I'll handle all of the hassle and you won't even have to hire a VA. And don't call yourself a VA. Just say, I've been doing this for so long. I'm an expert in all of these things. And you can, here's the upgraded package and you can hire me for this additional amount. Right. So that's what I would like, if you're going from VA to that, that's where I would start thinking this week. Right. And start that should be your come from. Neri, you're already an amazing writer. So your come from is like, I've sold on Amazon. I understand the hassle and I can, and Pepper, this is you too, right? I've sold on Amazon. I understand the hassle. And like, I already know how I'm already a successful writer and I generate sales on Amazon, but I have a deeper perspective because not only have I sold on Amazon, but I'm coming from a position where I have been trained to not just work with not just convert the customers everybody else converts, which are at this customer awareness level 2, which you'll see in the training today, Neri, right? You'll understand what I'm talking about. But I also know how to transform the people who aren't sure what they need and the skeptics into more sales, right? So that's how you're a hypnotic Amazon copywriter instead of if you're going after clients. If you want to just use this to blow your own brand out of the water and like make millions in sales a month, totally do that too. I know, Neri, that's not you. Neri will never sell products on Amazon again. We have burnt that bridge. She did a really good job, but it just
at this very moment.
No, we hit we're like, okay, no more. I hit that point too. I was like, I love helping people make money. I do not want to talk to Amazon Seller Central, like seller support ever again for the rest of my life. I'd rather go be a nun then that's not true, but I'd rather go like something else really boring than talk to Amazon Seller Central, because I mean, I sold natural pest products, but then all of a sudden I don't know if you guys know this, but it was just like what they do with the anything that goes in and on the body with the FDA. Amazon came through and they're like, well, you can't use the word, for a while they were like, you can't say repels pests because you have no proof it repels pests. And I said, okay, I have all these studies that shows, and I have these anecdotal testimonials, these reviews, obviously, like that it repels pests. And all of a sudden people had a bunch of mice. The mice are gone. Nobody knows how it happened, except this is the one thing that changed. They're like, no, you can't do that. You have to run an independent study. Has to be verified by these agencies. I'm like, I can't do this.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, like, we had to find, and I love the challenge of doing this, and you'll run into this stuff a lot. You have to find a way to say something. As long as you can get advertising there, you're fine. But you have to find a way to say something without saying it. So instead of saying pest repeller, we would say, something like evacuates the critters crawling under, the critters you hear under your floorboards. And the Amazon algorithm then, and I'm like, you can't prove I'm saying anything I'm not supposed to. You can't suspend my listing, right? And I have attorneys.
Can you say something like eliminated or something along that line?
We can say suddenly the noise is gone.
Oh, wow. So in a way, you have to kind of explain.
Oh, yeah. We get to dance around a lot of fun stuff. We'll learn a lot about that in class. That's where the claim, no claim came from. It was like 2016, 2017. I invented this. Like, people say I invented it. It just came. It was like the claim, no claim for supplements, right? Like, you can't say blast fat on Amazon. It may blast fat. It may literally melt the fat out of your fat cells. I mean, clearly I haven't used it, but, like, things may, oh my goodness. You've got activity in little ones, Pepper. That's so awesome. Hi. I only have 3 in the other room. 4 of mine are gone. They are so cute. Oh my gosh. So we did, are they twins?
They are.
Pepper, you're killing me. You win.
My husband says when they come 2 at a time, that's when we start. So they're the babies.
Oh my gosh. Hi, babies. How old?
How old are they?
The 8.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I have an 8-year-old. She is so much fun.
Oh, it's the best.
She's almost 9.
We're kind of mess today, though. We're doing school and they need help, so I will probably let you go.
Oh, that's okay. You can mute and then pop back in too if you want. It's totally up to you.
Okay, great.
We're just doing Q&A.
So
Yeah. Whatever you need to do. I'll be here for a little while longer. So for the claim, no claim, I'm still recording all of this, right? I believe. Let me double check.
Okay.
And then those recordings will be in some kind of portal that we can have access to.
Yep.
Log in and
screen video is sharing your screen. Stop sharing. Yep. Okay. So, this is going to be, no, it's not going to be I'll put it in a portal for everybody if you guys want a portal. But really what I was going to do is put it on the Facebook group, and then at the very, I'm going to host them also on YouTube in the private section, and then send everybody, because YouTube won't take them down when they're private, then send everybody an email at the end so you can access them clear through the class on Facebook. So just in case Facebook shuts down our group, I'll send you an email so you have eternal access to that you have control over, and not a platform has control over, because I really want you guys to be able to say, okay, I have access to these. I can download them. I can, I can put them on my own Google Drive. I want you guys to have eternal access. And a lot of times, there are so many systems that have just shut down in the past few years, and it's like, we used to use them all the time. So, okay. So claim, no claim, right? So we can make a claim that, we can't say blast fat. We can't say cures cancer, things like that. Right. We can't even use words like cancer. So we can say things like, while we can't say that this fixes the root issue that you're dealing with, right? Because we can't say cancer, right? And we can't claim that we're doing it, so that we're going to fix it or that we're going to cure it. So we say, well, we can't say this, fixes the root issue that you're dealing with. We can say that, or we can point out that thousands of people have experienced, have said that it supports or promotes more energy, more, less nausea, things like that. We can say those kind of things. But when it comes to a particular disease, we can't say that, we've gotten dinged for using the word eczema on an eczema cream recently. It's an eczema cream. It's an FDA approved eczema cream, and Amazon came through and dinged us. We got the listing back up. It wasn't my listing, it's a client's listing. That will happen. You will write things that Amazon doesn't like. And you will have to be able to go circle back, and I'll give you guys the scripts, like what to say to clients when it happens. This is why we offer the 365-day unlimited edits guarantee, because sometimes Amazon changes their mind and people are following the rules based on their opinion. And so if anything happens to your listing, like like there's something they don't like, remember, you have 365 days of unlimited edits. You can come back at any time to me and I will make sure it's fixed. So the Amazon gods are happy and your listing can continue to live on and you'll keep selling products. And other people don't, and you can tell them like other people don't offer that, because they don't. They'll offer like 1 or 2 rounds of revisions. And it's like, nope, we're sticking with you, because Amazon can be tricky, right? They can decide suddenly they're just not going to like what you wrote. And so then we go back in and tweak it, tweak a few words here and there about what Amazon doesn't like. And then they send it back to Amazon and they're happy until the next person reviews their listing. And they're like, I don't like that. And then you go and you tweak it. Most of the time, 97% of the time, people don't want any edits at all, right? They might want like 1 or 2 things changed, but they don't ever come back for edits. They just come back and offer you more money to write their next listing because you're making them money and they're happy. And they tell their friends and that's how they come back. You know what I mean? But there's like that 3% of the time where, and it's always in things like supplements, anything that goes in and on the body, anything like in those trickier medical categories, anything that FDA would regulate, but you can't get it FDA approved, right? Or the FDA would like monitor, but not approve. That's where you get that 3% where it's like, okay. The other thing that happens with those, like if Amazon suddenly flags something, like they started flagging for a while, you couldn't use the word guaranteed. And now you can, but you couldn't. So all of a sudden I had like 50 people coming back to me and saying, okay, well, like we need to change this, and so you have to find a different word for the word guaranteed, which is, there's a ton of them. It's pretty easy. It just depends on what you've already written and what's going to fit there. You can say this will make you smile or we'll buy it back from you, no questions asked. Like it's super easy, things like that. You just have to think around it. Let's see here.
That is very creative of you.
We have to be creative. Like we love Amazon because it provides us, just like we love money, because it provides us for the platform to sell on it, but we don't love their rules. And so our job is to help our sellers to skirt like around their rules so they can still keep selling, but without the
They're very customer centric.
Yeah, they're very kind of. Their customers are mad right now. But yeah, they're mostly very customer centric. Mostly. They're very upset in the US right now. They're telling people, for the past few weeks, they've been telling people you're going to get this by this date, like by Thanksgiving, by, this for your kid's birthday, by this for Christmas, and the stuff's not showing up. And they found out that Amazon delivery people were dumping them into the rivers. My jaw dropped too. Mark read it to me while we were driving and I was like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I bet those drivers won't have any job anytime soon.
No, and Amazon's hurting for drivers. They can't find enough people. What'd you say, Team? Sorry?
They were on strike, I think.
Yeah, some of the drivers went on strike, yeah.
Yeah, but they have no rights to dump other people's stuff.
Yeah. No, they're dumping. Yeah. It's like they want to hurt Amazon, but that doesn't hurt Amazon. That hurts consumers. Going on strike, like they should, it hurts Amazon. But there's a lot of areas of the country where Amazon pays better than any place else. It's kind of like a lot of people hate Walmart, but what they don't realize is if you go to places like, Indiana, Walmart pays better than anybody else. Like that's where you want to get a job because nobody else is paying well there. No, these people who are on strike were in Seattle, right? They're making $15 an hour. You can't survive off $15 an hour in Seattle. There's no way. You can't even get an apartment for your entire paycheck for that in Seattle right now. It's really expensive. So, yeah. Anyhow.
Diane, may I ask you for your suggestion, please?
Yeah.
In a way, I kind of want to mold this together. It kind of happening together is in a way, I don't know, you can say it's not by accident.
Okay.
I've been chatting with someone overseas, and she's 20 something. Sorry.
Bilal just came on. Hey, Bilal, can you mute, honey?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, can you mute real quick? Because we can hear your background.
So I've been chatting with this young girl. She's 20 something, 22, 20, somewhere around there. And she needed a job because over there it's like, it's really hard to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to help her is getting a transcribe business. So I wanted to also incorporate it into my business.
Yeah.
And let her do the transcription. So how would I mold this thing together? And also, eventually I wanted to be also doing affiliate programs, like promoting your program and some other people who are really awesome in doing this, because I know people are wasting so much money buying other people's products. And so I wanted to also put that into the work together. How would you suggest I would do this?
So you want to become like a one-stop shop for a specific type of person, right?
Yes, it's the joint venture
Yeah.
mentality. Yeah, so I want to have a Rolodex of different professional or people that I can just refer the go to.
Yeah, you want to make it you want to make it about being a one-stop shop for everything for Amazon sellers, or everything for like small business coaches would be a good one, or small business consultants. And then like you would have VAs you could refer out to, like transcribing, editing, things like that. You would have like other sales copywriters who do what you do. Like you and Teen could team up, right? Because I bet Teen knows a whole bunch of VAs who could help with stuff like this. And you are really good at like putting things together and getting things out there, right? So you guys could team up and like be like a one-stop shop for Amazon sellers, or one-stop shop for like, I don't know if I'd focus 100% on Amazon as I would like, if you're looking at transcribing and things like that, you're probably looking more at coaches and consultants, right? So you could be the one-stop shop for anybody who sells Amazon coaching and consulting programs, right? Like you could have like a business in a box for Amazon consultants and coaches, right? I feel like I'm going off screen. Woo. So I'm like, I'm over here, you're over there. So you and Teen would like team up and do something like that, where like you would have people, yeah, we can transcribe. Like you're just going to talk. Like I just talked for like an hour and a half, right? Or spoke. I just spoke for an hour and a half. And I have someone who transcribes for me. And so I'm just going to hand this over and say, okay, you transcribe this. And like, they're a regular service. And, like, I don't know how much I pay them, like by the hour, and then they send me a bill and I pay the bill. But then I'm not worried about sitting here like typing every single thing out. I'm not worried about speaking quickly, right? You're going to want to do it for people who are more free flow like I am and want to go through like bullet points without making a giant PowerPoint kind of thing. So that would be a good way to integrate that in terms of the Amazon sales copy side of things. You can tie this into sales copy for those individuals. Everything you learn in here is going to apply to sales copy across the board. And if we want to, towards the end, we can go through like the things that a consultant or a client, like you guys are going to know it anyway. Because if you're getting clients, you're going to be providing them with the same type sales funnel that I'm going to show you guys how to create. Right. So once you can create your own sales funnel and you're like, here, and not only can we transcribe all of your things for you from your, Facebook lives and all of your trainings and stuff, so you can push them out to other people and push out the transcriptions, but we can write the words that get you more clients and tie those in and write the words in that sales funnel further down the line that get you more sales, or sorry, get you more leads, get you more sales, things like that. Because for everybody in this group who's going into the side where they want to like launch their own business, writing, optimizing listings, we're going to have to go into the sales funnels anyway and talk about how to like write that stuff, right? Like, what do you put on your website? What kind of lead magnet do you offer? I'll give you a hint. It's a book or like a blueprint, right? People who read, like we can do videos, and videos are great, right? We can push out videos, but people who read a book, like, between 5 and 120 something pages, people who read a book about how to do something that you're doing are like 60% more likely to hire you, and they always have more money. Readers have more money than people who just can watch a free video. Okay. They're more interactive. They're more in tune with what you're doing. They take notes. They have much bigger buy-in. So we're going to talk about the sales funnels you're going to want to launch and like what you want to have on your website towards the end of the class so that you can start launching. Maybe we'll do it in the middle. Because so right now
I think maybe in the middle is better so that we can implement a lot.
Yeah, let's do it in the middle. Funnels. Yeah. Let's talk about funnels in the middle, like let's say middle of January, I think is where we'll talk about funnels, right? And so that way you'll know how to go and get, and you can apply that to, you can be the person who writes the funnels for these other consultants who you're also doing transcription for, right? You can be that one-stop shop. You can be the person who writes the funnels for Amazon sellers who want to sell their stuff from Facebook to launch their product on Amazon. That's a huge thing to use funnels for. You can do like consultants. Like I'm launching like a $20,000 package here in like a month, right? And so like you can go work for me and write the book and build the funnels for that. Like what you guys are learning is sales copy across the board, how to be top 10% sales copywriters across the board. Amazon is a really easy place to start because the traffic is already there and it's keyword based, right? So that's a good place to start to show I have results as a sales copywriter. So I can do it. Like if it was me, the leap I'd make this way, and I made the leap to Amazon very differently, Amazon sales copy, but I would make the leap this way as a sales copywriter. I would start on Amazon and then I'd say, here are the things that I can generate with a product sales page. Amazon is a product sales page. Here are the results I generate. And I would go out to anybody who has a Shopify page or anything like that. Okay. So I'd move from, I have results in Amazon. Here's what I can do on Shopify. I can tell you guys which template to use. Like it's really easy. There's one template all the top sellers use. It's the same template. I forget the name, but they all tell me and then they make me I tell everybody else. Sorry, I've got the hiccups because I'm so excited. So I'd go from that to Shopify to like full sales funnels, right? If you want to make the leap there. Otherwise, you can just say, hey, here's what my sales funnels generate. And you can create like a book, like how to get 26% conversions from your sales funnel. You can create a book and it's just like and with checklist and blueprint and stuff. And it takes a couple days to create the book, right? It's not like something where you have to be creative about it. You're literally telling people like the step-by-step to do it. And once they've read through it, they want to hire you to do it. Right. There's, so like you can do that in a sales funnel. So we'll learn sales funnels. Right. And I'll provide you guys with like some of the templates and things like that. And I'll show you like, by then I should have my $20,000 one launched. And that's for like my full launch project, my full launch program, right? You know about full launch, which is a lot more in depth than like, I'm going to write your listing. Let me write the words to sell. So by then by middle of January, we should be able to do that. I'm thinking
that's a great segue. And that's the other thing I also wanted to bring up to your attention is that I have unlimited access to Groove for domain. So I'm so happy. I actually found someone that is really great with not just any typical building page or designing the Groove funnel pages.
Okay.
And this guy can actually do the coding for JavaScript. So I wanted to team up with this guy, and because what I'm finding out with Groove is, okay, you get this Groove funnel thing, but it makes it so easy, but you don't really know how to build and put things together.
Yeah, so it's really hard to put things together.
Bring that gap. Yeah, so I want to bring in that gap and offer. I'm thinking about offering people, maybe they get something for free from me by signing up through me, and then I also get the commission when they sign up for the Groove funnel.
Okay.
And then so this is so complete. I'm so excited. I'm seeing a picture of the sales funnel come together and using the Groove, and I hire people to do it. You say self-professional, like this.
Yes. And for Groove, you're gonna need to prove how it's easier to use and better than Shopify, easier to use and better than ClickFunnels, and easier to use and better than Kartra, right? So you're gonna if you're gonna put that in your funnel, you're gonna want to start studying like, why is Groove superior to these? And it's never gonna be about its lower cost. Like it's going to be about its lower cost for new business owners. But then as soon as if it's not superior to those other programs, as soon as they have any money, they're going to upgrade, right? So you want to make sure that you're targeting the right people with Groove, not just that you're selling Groove. And I don't know everything about it. I've heard some cool things about it.
I'm thinking about targeting the Amazon's sellers people, because they have a shop store that they can actually sell their product through Groove. So I was thinking Groove, they call it Groove Cards, very similar to
is it like Shopify?
Kartra. Yes, they actually are replacing Shopify.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, then I would get on that and I would focus on how it's better than Shopify. I'd find all of the irritations about Shopify. I can make you a list if you'd like. Clients tell me all the time, like, I hate Shopify because da-da-da-da-da. Oh my gosh. I would focus on that. I would start looking at the skepticism and like the biggest hurdle, if they're actually better, if you can position them as better, is everybody moving their stuff over, right? So is there somebody you can team up with who can create like a one-click move over widget of some kind. So what appears in your Shopify site will automatically now appear on your Groove site. So they're not rebuilding, because that's a huge, people are like, I don't want to rebuild. I don't want it. Like, they love getting new sales copy, but then you talk to them about where are you going to put it on your website? And they're like, I'll talk about that in 6 months. I'm like, no, we need to talk about that now. You're going to have to put this up somewhere. Yeah. So, because people love the sales copy. They feel really good about it. But there are some clients who like, you'll write them a website and they won't launch it for a year because they're on X platform and they know they need to go to Y platform and they don't want to do that. So I think, honestly, the biggest money, everybody's talking about AI, and that's great. But to me, the biggest money that's going to be made over the next 2 to 3 years is going to be people who create widgets that they can sell for $47 to $97 that automatically move everything that you have on one platform like Shopify, Amazon, WordPress, Blogger, all of that into one of the main other platforms like Groove. So I would be looking for not app developers, like bridge coders to do that. Because if you have that and you're the only one who has that, everybody has to buy from you. You become a market. You become a market of one. You have no competition if you're the only one who has this thing that can move everybody's Shopify and e-commerce sites into the software that's better that you're promoting. So I'd look at getting someone to do that and then offering to share profits with them.
That's a good idea. I will take a look into that. So that's makes me also thinking about, what we learned from Frasier, buying other people company.
Oh yeah. We can talk about that at the end too. Yeah. The whole, no money out of pocket acquisition. I'm still doing that. That's super fun.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. But I'm trying, like, what I was doing with it is I have my dream is to own a whole slew of like family fun centers and hotels that are family-based hotels, which I'm working on some deals for that right now. But when I started doing that, like, all of a sudden everything in my area shut down from COVID again. So it's like, family fun, what? Nobody's going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you can't buy a trampoline park and you can't buy because with this many kids, like, that's all they want to go do anyway, is go play at arcades and do all this other stuff. And it's like, I love being around people. And when I'm working from home all the time, like, I'm not around people. So it's like, I just want to go work at the front desk of a fun center, like, for an hour a week, I'll just go buy one. So yeah, I'm still working on it from that angle. Yeah, that's really fun stuff.
By the way, I do have a company, a lawyer contacted me that there's a company that's selling, the guy sadly died, and the company used to net profit over $1 million per.
What are they doing?
Per year. The guy died, the husband died.
No, I know he died. What's the company do? What do they deliver?
Oh, they sell, it looks like tech gadgets, like cell phone items and stuff like that, different things.
Okay.
And yeah, I have the website. If you want me to
shoot it over and I'll JV with you. And if I can like find a way to acquire it or something, then we can split it or something. Like, we can figure out how to do the commission side of things. Yeah. You can do like so what we're talking about is like, I buy businesses. So like, Neri's like, I have one for you. I'm going to send it over to you. So if you guys find somebody who's selling, whether it's like divorce, death, they're just burnt out, like anything like that, let me know. And, I can look into how to acquire it, because I like to do that. This is not my only venture. This is just my favorite venture. This is the one I keep that I don't even really have to right now. So it's super fun. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much you know Diane, but she is really one of a kind.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So nice. Okay, so we just had somebody. Who am I looking at? Hold on. Let's see here. Bilal. Am I saying that right? Is it Bilal?
Yes.
Bilal?
Bilal. It's Bilal.
Bilal. Okay. Awesome. So we have Bilal on. So
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Everyone so far, everybody's been introducing themselves. So we did the training earlier, and so I'll send you the recording as soon as it renders, and we're still all being recorded. I'd just like to let everybody know that, just in case, like, you don't want things heard, push mute. Right?
I had an alarm for it. I had an alarm for 11, like it's 11 p.m. in my country, so like it's very late. It was very late. Right now it's 1:10.
Oh my gosh!
I had an alarm to wake up, but I just got a little late, so I just got up right now.
I'm so sorry. I tried to do it so that we had so that everybody in the UK was at dinner time. Everybody in the Middle East and the Philippines was like, it was before you went to bed, so you could like come for at least an hour and ask questions. And then, so I'm catching Americans on their lunch hour. I'm trying to, depending on the class, I might like back up the hours a little bit, like do like 9 to noon or
No,
something.
it's all good for me. I'm a night rider. Like I don't work during the day. I just work during the night. This is my work time after this. So
I used
I'm
to do
comfortable
that
with this.
before I had a bunch of kids. Nighttime was an awesome time to work. I used to do it overnight when I only had when I had 3 kids. I worked overnight and I was with the kids all day and it was crazy. I was exhausted, but like it worked. You know, I got to raise them. That was important.
The quiet is too good. The peace is so good at night. Like
okay.
There's a
yeah, there's peace
at
night.
There are too many distractions. There are too many distractions at daytime. Like too much to do. You can't focus on working at day.
Yep.
So I have this time to myself.
There you go. That's awesome. Good attitude. Okay, so is there, I think we've seen everybody. I know Christine is not going to make it. Does anybody have any other questions or anything? Because I'm going to go double check because everybody who said they were going to be here has shown up. So if you guys don't have any questions, we can wrap up a little bit early today. And then you guys can work on the other stuff and I can get the video rendered and send it out. Does anybody have any questions? Bilal, do you have any questions? You will afterwards. So you will after you go through the training. Remember. Oh, go ahead, Nia.
Actually, I do have a question. Sorry.
Okay.
I sent you a message whenever you get around to, or maybe perhaps other people having the same question. Maybe other people benefits from this.
Sure.
What I wanted to do, I wanted to post out in the social media saying, "Hey, I'm looking for 2 people to write a listing for." How do you approach it? Give us some.
Muhammad already did that. So what I would say is I'm looking to, I need to generate amazing results for 2 people for free as part of my certification to become a hypnotic Amazon copywriter. All that's required of you is that you're willing to show your results and that you're willing to provide me with a video testimony, right? Or you can do people don't usually like to do video, like a testimonial, right? And in a testimonial, and I will be sharing these results with other people, right? So and we're going to create this like the top Amazon copywriter in the world or something like that. I'm not trying to make myself sound good. This is what I would say. The top Amazon copywriter in the world is secretly helping us develop these skills. So she's going to be overseeing this, right? And so if you're interested, don't post the link below, PM me and I will go through the listings and I will go through your products and I'll decide based on the criteria, based on my criteria, which ones I'm going to take, right? And I'm only selecting 2, right? So I would say that. And I would have everybody who doesn't have their own listings do that because if you're in this class because you want to launch into making really good money as a hypnotic Amazon copywriter, you're going to want to show you can generate results and that's going to be your start, right? So start with 2 listings, put yourself out there. Bilal, I don't know if you heard what I had talked to Teen about was whatever you're doing, what do you currently do for work? You're copywriting, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm a full-time copywriter now.
Yeah, you're already fully copywriter. Okay, awesome. So that doesn't apply to you. I was telling her that if you're a VA and you're launching into copywriting, you're now a top copywriter and you can also provide these other services as an add-on to lower people's stress level. But you're already fully copywriting, right? That's right. We talked about this. Okay, good. Just making sure. Okay, yeah, so that's what I would do. And that's not a requirement of the class. It's just, even if you go and you just pick 2 listings off Amazon, you want to work on optimizing them. We all want to optimize together. That's great. Pepper might have some extra listings that we can optimize. I'm not sure. We can look. I know Christine's working on some of hers right now. She's super busy today. But yeah, if you want to launch your career right now, now's the time to do it. Hey, I'm looking for this. I'm going to do 2 free listings. And, you guys can go back through and, go through the video. It's recorded. I can tell you about what time we're at. We're at 2 hours and 15 is where I'd start listening for that. And I just go and, start launching your career that way. And don't tell them you're not a sales copywriter yet. Don't tell them you're not, just say you're looking for, people who want to share results. And this is a requirement for, the top level Amazon certification program. Right?
Got it, ma'am. And if they want to know anything about, because I think most Amazon sellers, they don't want to disclose their products. Are we going to share it in the group, or how's that going to work out?
It is all shared in this group, and it's all kept in this group. So they have to be willing for you to share the results for you, right?
Okay.
But everything's going to be shared in this group in terms of us going through and optimizing their things. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who are very comfortable with it. If you're like free listing from top sales copywriters, like you can say a bunch of the top sales copywriters, a bunch of the top Amazon optimizers have gotten together and we're looking to do 2 free listings. And you have to be able to share your results, and you have to, because we've got a bunch of like, Bilal already does this, right? Like he already knows how to do this, and we're just honing it. Like he's at the point where we're honing it a little bit, right? Pepper's already been selling on Amazon for a while and totally knows a lot about this, right? Like Teen knows the ins and outs of Amazon. Like, so we've got a bunch of Amazon experts in like one place, and we're volunteering to optimize their listings and to share, like, so they have to be able to share their testimonials, right? And they have to be able to share their results. Okay. So it's going to get shared, but only within this group. Okay. And tell them it's a small group of 10 Amazon masterminds who are doing this, and we're looking to optimize 2 listings. That's another way you can go about it, right? Because it's not a lie. Like I'm here, you guys are here. We're all really good at one part or another of this whole equation. We're just putting all the pieces together, right? So you can do that too.
I feel whoever will be chosen, we're going to be very lucky.
Yes, they're going to be very lucky no matter what. Yeah.
Okay. Can we put a price tag? Because I did put $99.97 based on your price. Is that okay?
$9.97 is the basic price. If we're doing, if it's someone who says, well, can you work on my images for me too? Then you're looking at going into 2,000 and 3,000. So like $9.97 is like that, like I would say just the, even a starting price for this, like for the most basic level of this is $9.97 and goes up to 20,000. So this is an incredible value for anybody who, wants to do this. Right. Yeah. So I would say it's something like that. So, and like the same thing is like, this is the company that offers a 10x guarantee. They've worked with over 8,000 clients, and they, like our group has worked with over 8,000 clients who know what we're doing, but you shouldn't have to convince them that much. Free listing, and I need a review from results, like, and you have to share your results. They're going to go for that anyway. You can add the rest of that and you'll pull in some really high caliber people, but you're going to have to weed through listings and people's products, because you're going to get, our sweet spot is really, we want things that are complex to understand, right? So if there's something that's like a supplement is really good, right? Anything like anything that goes in or on the body, anything in the beauty category, shampoo, conditioner, anything like that, right? Highly competitive categories is like, if you were looking for people in highly competitive categories, that works too, because we don't want to get a whole bunch of listings of like, $4 things where they can't afford a sales copywriter. We want to go, we're honing our chops on things that are hard to do. Not that's like, oh, okay, well, I'm the cheapest price, right? Like I can sell a $4 widget. Me too. We want the hard stuff.
Okay, so supplements is one of them, because the way I hear competitive, pretty much everything on Amazon is competitive.
It is, but we want the products that we're making people pay more for. So if possible, we want people who are like, so like you can go, okay, so for a supplement, let's say there's like omega-3 that sells for $37 a month, right? Nordic Naturals kind of stuff. And then there's omega-3 that sells for like $7 a month, right? We want to look at who we're competing against and say, okay, we're competing against people who are selling for, like on the median, it's this price, like $20. And then within 25% of that, but we know we're competing against people who have deep, deep pockets who are able to get $37, $38 a month for it. Right. So, and we can we can totally, like, if we, like with the business owners, if we have products that are not super high price, that's totally fine. But when we're honing our chops as sales copywriters, we want to make sure that we are taking on the biggest challenge we possibly can. Right.
Okay.
Because we're proving that, like, this is the product point. This is the price point. This is the product. We don't want to prove ourselves on a pet toy. Does that make sense?
Is there a price point that we should concentrate on?
$14.99 or up is like the minimum I usually recommend. When people come to me and they have a product that, unless it's a really necessary daily commodity, then selling something for less than that, like it's really hard to get that 10x guarantee to kick in unless they're marketing a lot, right? Because there's just not a lot of profit margin on a $7 product because of Amazon's fees. Okay. You've got all kinds of fees. I'm trying to remember, like, there's like a 99-cent fee, I want to say, for pick and pack, which some people still have, some people don't. There's 15% of your sale, right? There's the cost of PPC, which is going through the roof, right? So like if they're selling a lower ticket product, it's really hard for them to scale right? And it's really hard for them to generate that 10x revenue, right? So we can still help them. I still help people like that all the time, but I just let them know, like, hey, I want to be able to help you, and I can totally sell a bunch of this, but you're going to have to go about it a slightly different route, because after you pay for PPC and the Amazon 15% and the, those who still have the pick and pack fee, and storage fees and all of that, you're looking at almost what you charge for your product. So a lot of times then we have to have the discussion about, you should be charging more, or should we be selling? Like, I've had people, we've decided to sell it someplace else in a sales funnel on Facebook, right? $7 product. You can ship it. Your kid can put it in a box, right? You can take a bunch of them every single week. Like, people don't care if they get there immediately. It's not a 2-day ship necessity, like things like that, So then we had that. Now we're talking more into consulting. Oh, team, sorry, go ahead.
For the listing, do we look for listings without PPC?
Oh no, we definitely use PPC. Oh yeah. Like, we have to use PPC. PPC, Amazon now, like a few years ago, they started deciding that shoving keywords into your listing wasn't nearly as important as the keywords you make sales off of. So we definitely want people who have a budget to use PPC, right? Or in lieu, they have like a huge, large group they can launch their product into, right? Which is the same as PPC. It's just like your own audience. But PPC is becoming a really important thing for Amazon right now. Has been.
Also, I'd like to share, when you were sharing about the wrench.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm so amazed about it, because when I was doing product research for our course, for the course that I took,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going into the tools and improvements category, because I couldn't, because I had to do the listing, so I couldn't describe or whatever with a very simple tool. And you made it sound very easy when you shared about the wrench.
Oh, it's going to be
How
really easy. By the time you guys get through the identity side of things, and then everything is just literally going to be copy, rinse, repeat, right? Like, you're going to get to the point where, like, you're going to try to overcomplicate it, because it's going to feel boring sometimes. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, my third listing today, copy, rinse, repeat, make them money. Oh, like, I need a piece of chocolate. And like that's one of the things, is that if you come from the foundational side of NLP and conversational hypnosis, and you know how to make your brain do anything, and then your brain just follows the templates and the patterns and everything as you go along, generating conversions is pretty easy, as long as there's a couple reasons you won't sometimes, right? So I'll tell you about the bad stuff right up front. Sometimes you will have clients who have a product that comes out of the manufacturer and it has a defect, right? There's ways to overcome that once they fix that, but otherwise, like, you can't be responsible if their product is bad and so people stop buying it, right? Like, you can help them. I even coach people through what to say to the manufacturer to say, okay, you've got to fix this because we're not making sales because it has all these defects, right? That's really hard. Amazon sellers know that's always a potential to happen. We can't, if someone suddenly jacks up their price way above what the market will bear, it doesn't matter how great your sales copy is. We've got some people sometimes who, like, I had someone who's selling a heating pad on Amazon and they bumped their price up to $37.99. It's not a plug-in heating pad. You put it in the microwave. It's a gel pack. Okay. And we had it proofed out. We could sell it at $22, but we couldn't get it above $22. And they turned it up to, like, $37.99, and their conversions tanked. And so sometimes you have to have those conversations with clients about how, like, hey, I would really love to, help you sell something for $37.99. And I'm sure that 70% profit margin sounds really good to you. But what the market will bear is $22. And that's awesome because everybody else is selling for $13. And we're so good, we can sell yours for $22. Like, that's pretty awesome. Like, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. That's a hard one. If Amazon suddenly decides to disallow any sales from that product type on Amazon at all, we cannot help them with that. We can help them convert to a Shopify store. We can help them figure, like, they can use their sales copy from Amazon on their Shopify store. But we can't help them with that, right? If Amazon suddenly bans every single keyword, like CBD for dog oil, right? If they suddenly ban all those keywords like they did for like a week, and you suddenly have to find another way to get to get traffic, their sales may tank, and you can't be responsible for Amazon's things like that. But you can help them figure out what other keywords to use, like, dog pain joint supplement, dog joint pain supplement, dog supplement for old dog. Like, that was really one, dog supplement for old dog, right? I'm like, I'm loving these people down south. That's where this is coming from. We measured it. It was like, this is so awesome. It's how I, like, they were all looking for dog and nobody was ranking for it. And we got a client who had this joint supplement for dogs. It was CBD oil. Sorry, Mary, just a sec. And we made him, like, we positioned him at $20,000 a month just by doing dog supplement for old dog. Anyhow, sorry.
That's okay.
Mary, did you want to say something?
Oh no, I just have a question. I just raised my hand so that you're aware. Not meaning to interrupt you. Sorry.
That's okay.
Is talking about CBD. Is there certain products or categories that we do not touch or write?
I write for anything. Just about, as long as it doesn't harm somebody. So I'm pretty picky about supplements. I'll go through their list of ingredients. And if I see something that's going to do hormonal damage or anything like that, like, we have a discussion about it at least and say, okay, are you aware that this causes this and this? And most of the time they'll say, oh my God, I did not know. And they'll circle back a month later and then we'll write about the product, right? So we can write about the listing without that. And then they just relaunch they improve their product. The Amazon does not allow you to sell CBD for the most part. And people are selling it all over the place, but they're calling it hemp oil, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what that is. Yeah. So yeah, CBD, like, I write things for the adult section. I write things for, like, I've done stuff for guns. I won't sell guns, but I will do, like, scopes for, like, things that make you see further for, like, paintball guns kind of thing. So I don't really have a limitation on what I'll write. I won't write anything that is ethnically or racially or, like, religiously condemning anybody. Like, if it falls under something where it would upset the EEOC, it's going to upset me. So I'm not going to write about it. So, things like that. But as long as it's not affecting human rights, then I'll take it on. Right. That's another one. Most of the clients you get when you're charging decent pricing, like premium pricing, are going to be clients who are not sourcing things out of sweatshops. They have human labor rights, like, monitoring in place. And so, and that's something I always check too, is, like, I'm like, okay, are you someone who, like, they're telling me it's coming out of, like, I don't know, like, China. And I'm like, okay, so China has some strict laws, but how are you following those laws? If it's anything that's toxic, I want to make sure that those people aren't going to, the people aren't being harmed who are making it, or I'm not going to write it. And that's my choice, but if I find out that there's, like, harm being done to people, like, I have a very much do no harm policy. So if something's going to harm somebody, we don't touch it. I don't touch it. It's up to you what you decide harms people and what doesn't, but I won't touch it. There's no amount of money in the world I can to harm people. There's no way. I can't do it. Oh, Pepper left.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Diane. That's really awesome, amazing. We gotta have some kind of boundaries.
Yeah, ethics. Like, write down what you'll write for, what you won't write for, and that actually positions you as someone who's superior to people who will write for anything. And people know when they refer to me, like, when I talk to them, it's I have a do no harm policy. If your product's going to harm, not just consumers, but if your product's harming people, or animals, like, I won't work with any beauty product that does animal testing. And I haven't had one come to me in years. People aren't even really doing that anymore. Everybody's like, animal testing free products, right? It's because it does harm, and I won't do it. I won't, like, environmental stuff is a bit iffy. Like, I don't really do a lot of environmental questioning, but most people who come and work with me, their products are well thought out. They're making them out of wheatgrass and bamboo and, like, plastic alternatives, and they want to save the world, so, they're always non-toxic. They're always chemical free. You have to provide that to Amazon. So that's a kind of a good thing. Because if you're writing a sales funnel for somebody, they don't have to prove to anybody that it's non-toxic. But if you're selling on Amazon, you have to prove that it's non-toxic. So it's, like, there's kind of a built-in system right there anyway. Right? You good? Can you guys still see me? I can't see myself. I don't even know hold on. Okay, I'm still here.
Yes.
Making sure I'm on screen. Yay. Yeah, it makes the process of selecting through clients a lot easier. And there are some clients, and I'll tell you guys, since all three of you are looking at writing as Hypnotic Amazon copywriters, there are going to be clients like use your common sense, okay? Like use your gut. I shouldn't say common sense. Use your gut. There are going to be clients who are abusively disrespectful, okay? And you can tell from the very beginning if someone is going to be like that, and you have to let that person go and say, you know what, I don't think you're a good fit for working with me, and move on to the next one. And there will always be, I swear to God, I always say the universe tests me, because when I was first starting out, it did. I would have horrific clients. I was on Elance, and guys, I started on Fiverr. That's where I started 12 years ago, on Fiverr. Okay. So I was selling, I was putting out articles for $5 a piece, and became the top article seller on Fiverr in like 2 months. And then I jumped it up to like $10 a piece. That was the limit they let us have. We couldn't charge more than $10 a piece for like a 2,000 word article at that point in time. I was making $10 an hour from home, and I thought I was amazing, right? Like I was like, woo, I'm making $10. Now if someone was like, I'll give you $10 an hour, I'm like, I'm not getting out of bed for that. There's not a chance in anywhere. No way. But yeah, I started on Fiverr, right? Writing SEO articles. And there were some horrific clients that at first, like, I thought I had to take them. And then I realized I felt like I was being tested by either my subconscious mind, the universe, whatever you want to say. And I would say, okay, well, I'm not going to take this person, but I'm going to trust and believe that something that is 10 times better and pays 3 times more is going to come to me by tomorrow, or the next day, like within 24 hours, then 48 hours, right? Because I'm really big on manifesting. I have a whole nother business that's just on manifesting, right? Just on manifesting money. Like it's a huge thing, right? Neri knows about this. It's a huge thing. And so it's like my other passion. And so I had to like retrain myself to trust and believe that, and it would happen. And one of the times I did that, I had a client who came and was like, I have a rush article. And you're not supposed to take money off of Fiverr. I have a rush article, and he thought it was $5 a minute. First time using Fiverr. And he's like, I'll pay you $800 if we can get it done in the next 48 hours. And I was like, okay. Like, he's like, do you take PayPal? I'm like, I absolutely take PayPal. I didn't know what PayPal was. Okay. I had no idea. I was like 2 months into business. No idea what PayPal is. And I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, yeah, of course I take PayPal. I'm like doing a quick search. Like, what's PayPal? Like, how do I sign up for PayPal? And it's like, you can set up a PayPal account now in 20 minutes. Right. So I'm like, covertly, I'm like, okay, I'll send you this document. And inside of it, I put my PayPal address, and I didn't know about invoicing or anything. So the guy like sends me money. And like on there, I'm like, okay, now I have his email address through PayPal. So I'm like, okay, great. Sorry, we couldn't work together on Fiverr. Like, I'll circle back to you, and like I uploaded another document that said like, I'm going to email you at this email address. Do not reply via Fiverr or we're going to get in trouble. I'm not allowed to charge a rush fee on Fiverr, right? That's what I told them. I can't charge a rush fee on Fiverr. I couldn't charge more than $10, and they weren't going to order 80 articles and go through the thing over and over again, right? So all of a sudden, like I had $800 in my account. And I was like, okay, so, and I was making $10 an article. And I was like, okay, so this is really awesome. So I delivered it to them, and then they came back and they ordered like 6 more, right? And that's how my business launched, because I turned down 3 clients who seemed like total jerks, who were being super mean and treating me like I was a commodity and not a person. And you're a person, you're an expert. Don't ever forget you are a person and you're an expert. Do not let people mistreat you, ever, okay? Like, you're a person, you're an expert, and you're going to get like what you put out there. So like if you put out there like, no, I deserve to be treated like a human being, and I'm amazing, and I believe that something 10 times better that pays me 3 times more is going to come to me. And that's how I launched as a sales copywriter, because what I didn't realize is like, I didn't know I was already doing sales copywriting. Like, I didn't know it was a thing. So this guy comes back to me and he's like, after these 5 articles, he's like, this is so persuasive. You're an amazing sales copywriter. I didn't know you were a sales copywriter. Do you write sales pages? And I was like, totally do. I totally write sales pages, okay? So fake it till you make it. There's always a resource for you to accomplish or achieve anything out there. There's always a resource, okay? Don't forget that. So I was like, great, I write sales pages. Yeah. And they're like, do you write sales pages like this? And I'm like, not only do I write sales pages like that, like I can do that in 7 days, right? And he's like, how much do you charge? And I was like, I thought I was crazy. I was like, $1,200. And he's like, awesome. So I'll send you the money, and I need it within 7 days. And then he's like, send me your brief, which is the sales copy speak for questionnaire. And I'm like, I'll absolutely send you my brief in the next 24 hours. And I'm like typing like, what is a brief? What is a sales copywriting brief? So like, I went from being this person who was like an SEO article writer for $5 to $10, like $5 a pop, then $10 a pop. This took me 2 months to go from that, because I just kept saying yes and I just kept believing, and I kept working on my money mindset, and I kept working on my like identity. Like, I'm the kind of person who makes, X amount per hour. I'm the kind of, and I would act from that, right? So my kids would ask for something small. I'd figure out a way, like they'd ask for, like gum or something. Like I would be like, okay, great. Like normally my money mindset would say, no, we can't afford gum because then I won't be able to pay the electrical bill. That makes no sense, right? Like that does not make logical sense, but that's what your subconscious mind does. So it was like, okay, so, I'd start acting from that point, like from that state B, which we talked about earlier, which is recorded below. So you'll get it in just a little while. Acting from that state B of like, okay, I am a top 10%, writer. Like I didn't even know what that meant. And so then I was like really big on I felt so empowered. I was like, I'm going to make $35 an hour as a sales copywriter. I won't get out of bed for $35 an hour right now. I will tell you guys that right now. That's not happening. Okay. And it's like, okay, so I'm gonna make $35 an hour. Like I thought I was like, and then I hit that. And then I hit 70. And then I hit $250 an hour. And now I work a lot less time on actually writing the sales copy and a lot more time on consulting, raising kids, like driving to get coffee. You know what I mean? Like this is coming from a world where I started on Fiverr and I thought I was like the biggest badass in the world, making $5 an hour, $10 an hour. I'm like, woo, this is awesome. This is 12 years later, right? But it didn't take, people say it takes like 10 years to reach the level. Like I became an overnight success in 10 years. I didn't. I became an overnight success in 2 to 3 months, right? And then I just kept like stacking on that. And you guys can do the exact same thing, right? But the whole thing about getting testimonials from people and showing you can do it, that's where it starts. Because that's all you got to post. If you can post a couple good testimonials and like their screenshots of like where they started and where they're at now, people are going to be blowing up your private messages and be like, okay, great. You can make this person this much money. You can make me this much money. Right. So that's really helpful to have those things. So anyhow, and now it's like, and it sounds really funny to talk about how much money I make, but like I worked part-time this last year because I have a new baby who just turned 1. And I had a bunch of kids home from COVID that I was educating, and I still did. One business did $180,000. One business did, and this isn't even counting what I make on the training programs on the classes, right? So one business did $180,000. I had another venture that I got $60,000 from. That's just like I did nothing, right? I have other ones that bring in money, like books that I've written that bring in money. Like you guys will find the money will start coming in if you do this identity shift that I'm talking about. And like, if you love to work a job, you can work a job and the money will still come in somehow that way. But it's like, you have to shift, like learning to shift your identity into being a specific person that you want to be. And then shifting your money identity at the same time is how you create this for yourself, right? It's how you do it. And I have people who like, it doesn't matter where you live or how you grew up. I grew up in extreme poverty. I had so many limiting beliefs to get over. We're talking about, I had a single mom. She had 6 kids at the time. She had no high school education. She definitely didn't have a college education, right? She couldn't do like, I mean, she wasn't able to get a job other than like, she was an aide, a nurse's aide for changing adult diapers. That is what my mother did to pay the bills. And it didn't pay the bills. We had no electricity. We didn't have running water. We didn't have a washer and a dryer. We had a hole in the middle of, we lived in like this house up on piers and we had a hole in the middle of the floor. We had to scoot around and rats came through the hole. So like, if I can reach this point, I was within a few months of what I did, like anybody can do that. It was super scary childhood. Like there were rats crawling through holes in my kitchen, and now there's no rats anywhere near me. There's none, and I have somebody who can come clean my house. It's really nice. I should probably call them. It's getting a little scary out there, but like it's anyhow, I'm not saying any of this to brag. I'm telling you guys, like, you don't need to, like, whatever dreams you have, if anybody's telling you can't achieve it, like, I had someone I was really close to, and when I said I'm going to make $35 an hour, and I had a college degree, I thought, but nobody I knew was making that kind of money with a college degree. When I first said that, people were telling me like, who do you think you are? Right? Like, you can't do that. Like, and then all these money beliefs came out. Right. And it was really, really bad. And it's like, no. And I established the belief of the more money I have, the more I can help other people. And that made a huge amount of difference. Right. Because I would even like try to trick my brain into saying, well, I'm not going to spend any of this money on myself. Like, I need this money to help these other people. And my brain was like, okay, I can make, okay, we're going to hit 35 an hour. Okay, we're going to hit 70 an hour. Okay, we're going to hit 125. Okay, we're going to hit, And if you don't know, like, go look at has anybody gone to even like Upwork and looked at what sales copywriters make on Upwork, right? Yeah, there are some people making really good money on there, right? And they all have that identity. That's what they have. It's so quiet here, and it's so quiet. There's someone just near. Did you have a question? Or you have something you want to share?
I was going to mention, do you know Fiverr? It's no longer $5 or $10.
I know. I hire people out there. Thousands. I know. Yeah, I know. It's like crazy. And now it's like their article writers charging, like there are Amazon listing optimization specialists on there, and they charge $300, $400 for a listing. And a lot of them, and I'm not saying this, I have some people who are Amazon listing specialists who are colleagues that I consider colleagues, and they're really, really awesome. And they charge anywhere from like what I charge. I have people who are charging, there are people who are charging $20,000 for a supplement listing, and they get it because supplements is a hard field to be in. You're dealing with medical, you're dealing with legal, you're dealing with Amazon, the FDA, you're dealing with the FCC. And I do those listings and I don't charge anymore. I'm about to start because it takes a lot more time than doing a regular listing. But, there are people charging $20,000 for that because that's the level of expertise it takes to write one of those listings successfully without getting you kicked off Amazon, right? But yeah, on Fiverr, you can go way high now. I have other things on Fiverr that I sell under a pen name, and they're like manifestation stuff, like like EFT scripts, emotional freedom technique. I'm really big on that. I thought about teaching a class on that. I don't know if anybody's interested, like a bonus class. You guys want to learn EFT, how to get rid of limiting money beliefs? Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. We're going to do that. It's probably going to be on a weekend though. It'll probably be like a 6-hour. Miri's shaking her head like she's going to kill me. She's like, no, not the weekends.
No. Okay. No. I'm all in for this. Now the weekend doesn't matter for me. As I post out in there, I'm taking on the side contract. I'm practically scheduled for 7 days a week. And my average day is 10.5 hours per day. So
yeah, but you're helping us all a lot, and everybody doesn't know what you're doing, but I really appreciate it. So thank you for working that hard.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes. I really appreciate it. You guys, I don't think you guys are in other countries. You have no idea what Neri's to. Thank you, Neri. Americans, thank you. They don't know, but we thank you. So I would love to teach maybe do a 1-day intensive where we go through all of the major limiting money beliefs and clear them out using EFT, which is do you guys know what tapping is? EFT? It looks crazy. I'm not having a seizure. This is what you do. Bilal's looking at me no, it clears limiting beliefs out of your subconscious mind.
I learned that from you, Diane.
I would love to.
I know, right? And your energetic field. And so I've had, tell you guys some fun stories about what I've done with EFT. EFT I combine EFT and NLP, and this isn't a program that I've taught anybody yet, but I'm doing it in the future. So we could do a trial run on it in here if you want as a bonus. It'd be super fun to do that. So what I've done is I figured out how to put together EFT and NLP to clear out limiting money beliefs. And I do that once a month. And then I do tapping, but I can literally reach a point. I've literally reached a point of manifestation where I can be okay, I want to see $10,000 in my Square account in the next 48 hours. And it happens. It's crazy. It's amazing. I want to see a van. I manifested this shuttle, right? I was I don't know where the money's going to come from. I don't know how I'm going to get it. I don't know. The shuttle did not exist. Okay. The shuttle, this big van in my driveway, did not exist, right? My last car before that didn't exist. And I'm the shuttle has to have this and this and this and this. And I put it out there and I was okay, I want this. And then it has to be under this many miles and it has to, and this thing seats 12. This is an airport shuttle from a high-end, not an airport, a hotel shuttle. I bought a hotel shuttle, right? And I was I don't know how I'm going to get financed. Being a business owner in the US and trying to get financing is really, really hard. So, and that's a limiting belief I have, but it's, it kind of there's not a lot of people who finance businesses. So I was I'm going to go do that. And I manifested that I told my husband, my new husband, we just got married on Thursday. I told him we're going to manifest a shuttle, a van for all of our family to go. And I started doing this. Okay. So last Thursday I got married and I had to have the shuttle by last Thursday and it had to be all these things that I wanted it to be. I told him I got this idea, this wild hair that I was going to do this the Friday before that. And between that Friday and that Thursday, and even we got it on Tuesday, manifested all the money and resources I need to have the shuttle. It took 4 days to manifest a $60,000 car. It fit everybody and it was perfect. I don't know where Bilal went. He just went. I can't hear. It's weird because nobody. I can't hear anybody. So yeah, so it
I
did
would
that.
like to manifest $10,000 a month, Diane.
I just did it in 48 hours.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So my timeline's about 48 hours.
Get your marriage.
Thank you. I know. I manifested the love of my life. We met in July and we just got married. And I was like, I kept telling the universe, like, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. And I can be a horribly stubborn person. And I was like, I'm just done. And Neri knows this. I'm like, I'm so happy with my life. I don't want to date anybody. I mean, like, I'll date. I don't want to get married again. I love my life. My life's amazing. And I hit that point in like June. And then like July, Mark shows up. And Mark's like, I'm going to come over there every single weekend. He had to drive 14 hours round trip to date me every single weekend. And he's like, I'm going to come over every single weekend. I'm like, no, you're not. You live too far away. I don't do long distance relationships. You seem like quite a catch. Like, you seem amazing, you know, love you, but no. And we hadn't even met. And he's like, no, I'm going to do this. Right. So, so he did, he drove round trip for 14 hours. Like, after I was like, fine, universe, if I'm going to, you know, meet the love of my life, like, this was my deadline. My deadline was July 27th, 2021. And then I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't ever have to worry about it again anymore. And I feel like I've done my part and I've done my duty to meet the love of my life. And I'm just gonna be happy with everything else anyway, because I'm already happy. Right. So July 27th, this dude pops up on this dating site and he's like, hey, and I'm like, you seem like quite a catch. You're way too far away. That man is currently in my living room watching the baby and doing an amazing job at it, and is my best friend in the whole world, and like showed up on like the last day when I was like, I was like yelling freedom. Okay. He showed up at like 8:30 at night, at 7 o'clock at night. I was like, freedom, I'm never getting married again. Woo, this is my deadline. I don't ever have to do this. Never getting married again. I got married last Thursday. Like, the universe knew I wanted something different, apparently. And he has 2 amazing kids too. So I now have 7 kids instead of 5 kids, which means I get to drive a giant hotel shuttle everywhere, which is kind of swanky and cool. It's got like giant windows, and it's like, I mean, it literally looks like something the president would roll up in. It's really cool. I like it.
I saw that picture of the shot of that
right?
post on Facebook. It's really cool.
I know. It's got the kids, and we took them to see Christmas decorations, like through this big thing, and they could see all of them because the whole side is windows. And they're like, this is so cool. So like, smiles and joy like that, you know? I love stuff like that.
Well, thank you for sharing your private wins. When I read your emails, like, you're on a honeymoon, I was like, what, Diane? I thought you said no more.
We just had this discussion, Diane. We talked about this in July. And I was like, I have a deadline. And all of my close female friends do this. Like, I have a deadline. And I'm only setting a deadline, not because it's what I really want, like, to be in love and get married again. It's just like, I feel like I have to try to this point. Right. So, dear universe, if you want me to be the love, like, I'm super happy all by myself with all these kids. Life is great. I have money. I have space. I can travel. You know, like, we can do whatever we want. No one tells us to go to bed. That was a big thing. Like, people, like, all these guys I dated were like, why aren't your kids in bed? It's 9 o'clock at night. And I was like, because we're hanging out as a family. We love each other. Like, why? They're not tired. They go to school on time. Like, I don't see, like, right. Mark doesn't care about bedtime until like they're all like, and we, you know, like, he's perfect for us. Like, all of us. And so what I finally did, and I'll tell you what the shift was. Oh, this was bad. I was like, fine. It was July 27th. And I was like, okay, hallelujah, like, freedom. This is never going to happen. Right. And then I, like, this thing in my head was like, yeah, but you really wanted to meet your soul family. And I was like, soul family. That's what it was the whole time. I was trying to I was working on manifesting a soul mate. And I'm supposed to have a soul family. Right. And so I said that, and then Mark pops up like an hour later. It's like, hey, you seem amazing. And I was like, you seem like, I mean, he's perfect. Literally, don't tell him that, but he's perfect. Like, you seem like you're absolutely amazing, you know? And I was like, oh my God, you're quite a catch. You seem amazing too, but you're way too far away. And I'm like, I don't do long distance relationships. I also told him I don't commit within 6 months. I'm married. Okay. I don't commit within 6 months. I'm married, right? Within 6 months. I don't do long distance relationships. I don't, like, I had all these stuff, like, I don't, right? And I was like, psh, and all those, like, just slowly went out the window because it was someone who became my best friend the first time we met. So I made a huge difference. So yeah, you can manifest anything. You can manifest, like, I've manifested like super nice cars. I manifested a barbecue. Like, it's on my deck right now. I had a neighbor randomly. I was telling my son Tucker, who is like a year ago, I was like, I really want to get a barbecue, but I don't want to buy another one because there's so many out there. Right? Like, I bet we could just manifest one within an hour. And he's like, haha, funny, mom. Yeah, let's see if we can manifest within an hour. I'm like, okay, we've got to go pick up your sister, right? Because she was at like school. And I was like, we got to go pick up your sister. He's like, okay, great. let's get in the car. And so we got in the car and we're on the way to the car from the front door. This conversation happened 5 minutes beforehand. And the neighbor's like, hey, I'm selling my house. I have this beautiful barbecue. It's like $1,000. I don't use it. Can you come get it by the end of the day? Because I got to sell my house. Like, do you want a barbecue? I was like, yeah, but how you would know that? And she's like, this woman's never spoken to me. She did not like me. She has never spoken to me. Like, she didn't like having kids around. That's why she moved out of the neighborhood. And she was like single lady, lots of yippy dogs, like, and I liked her just fine. I love everybody, but she did not like me. And so she like comes running across the street. She's like, barbecue, did it. So Tucker and I went and hauled the barbecue down the side of a hill to get it like out of like, we're like, we'll be right back. We have to go pick up, Liliana was at school. We have to go pick up Lily from elementary school. So then we come back and we haul the barbecue down the hill, like slid down a muddy hill with the barbecue together and got it up through the front stairs of the house, out the back deck. And like, we still have that barbecue. I didn't have to buy a barbecue. I just manifested one just because someone else didn't want it. Right. So yeah, we'll do a weekend session, or like maybe we'll do an all day Friday on it. Like maybe I'll do a regular session and then we'll do like an all day Friday on like clearing out limiting, sorry. Clearing out limiting beliefs using EFT. Cause I go through that still, like, even if you clear them out because of media and things like that. And like, if you're surrounded by other people, they'll sneak back in. Right. And then you kind of have to kind of clear them out a little bit again. And eventually some of them like just leave completely. Right. Which is really cool. But there are some, like, if they're deeply embedded from childhood, sometimes it takes a while. Like, you can clear it out and you'll clear the pathway. But then like every time you want to manifest a bunch of money, I'm like, can't breathe all of a sudden. So funny. I've had a cold for 4 weeks. Or allergies. I'm not sure. It might be allergies. Like if you try to elevate, you're going to have a different set of limiting beliefs, right? So if you suddenly go from, I want to make, this hit hard. I could not break through $84,000 a year. I could not break through $84,000 a year. I made $84,000 a year 3 years in a row. And I was like, I just want to break through $100,000 a year. Not for any reason except that, like, I mean, my life is great. My life was great. Then, not for any reason except that I wanted to be a 6-figure income earner. Like, I wanted to break through. And I had to go back through this whole process that I can teach you guys and to get to that point. And as soon as I did, it was like, boom, 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 boom. Like, these things click in your head, like, oh, I have to change this and this and this. And then, like, that'll be more like, and then you have the fears that come along with change. Like, well, if I raise my prices, nobody's going to buy from me, right? You have that fear. That's a limiting belief. And, people are out there charging $20,000 to do what you do, but you are like, but not from me, right? So you have to get over the limiting belief, the fear of change, like things like that. So it's a good process to learn, because as you're scaling your copywriting business, you're going to want to know, like, okay, I'm starting here, but where I really want to be is here. So how do I clear out the limiting beliefs and reprogram my identity as this person here so I can shift up there, right? So like right now we're shifting from multiple 6 figures a year to multiple 6 figures a month in our house. And because we have, our dreams got bigger, right? The kids grew up, they want to travel more. That's expensive, by the way. Taking 7 kids on an airplane is really expensive. So like, we're like, okay. And now we're like, where do you want to go? We're thinking they're going to be like Great Wolf Lodge, which is this little water park, like 3 hours from here, which we just took them to for 3 days. And it's like $1,000 a day. Right. Which is, even to me, sometimes I'm like, okay, I grew up with nothing. So that still sounds like a lot. And I've got to go through and clear out these limiting beliefs. Right. But of course, these kids, like, out of the blue, they're like, and this is something I'm working with a coach on. And they told me, like, go ask, like, figure out what your why is. My why is that I want to be able to say yes to things for my family. Right. And I'm like, where do you guys want to go? And they're like, and I'm thinking they're going to be like, Great Wolf Lodge, let's go, to the trampoline park. No, these kids bust out with Japan. They want to go to Tokyo for a week. They want to go to Tokyo Disneyland. And all of a sudden I'm like, well, here was my income goal. And then I'm doing some research. I'm like, now it's here. Like, how do I get from here to here? And it always starts with that mindset and the identity and getting rid of limiting beliefs. And then, like, it's been really easy. So I told, like, when I first started with my coach, and I always have a coach of some kind. I think it's really important to have some kind of awesome coach or consultant you're working with. So when I first started with them, it was like beginning of November. And I was like, okay, so my goal, is $37,000 a month. Right. And I want to hit that consistently. And she was like, well, this program is for people who want to go over 100,000 a month. I'm like, I know, but I believe in, like, scaling. Right. And it'll probably take me a couple months to get there. right? Well, it's really funny how your mind works when you go back to your family and you say, what do you guys want me to say yes to more? What do you want our experiences to be? We have one who is turning 14, which means he's going to be out of the house in only 4 years. We only got 4 years left with him. We've got 3 years left with the next one down, or no, 5 years left, then like 5 years left, and then 6 years left. Like, we don't have that much time left with these kids to do things, right? And they're in school, and like summer is the only time we have. And so I was like, okay, so like I really want to bring it for the next like 5 years. Like, what are we going to do? And so they're like Japan. And so of course I set that goal for 37,000. And that's not something I'd ever hit in my sales copywriting business before, just because like life has happened. And I've made $42,000 a month before, but not like that easily. Like, I didn't even try to make 37,000. And last month I hit 37,000 without the training program. I hit it in just my copywriting business, right? So I set that goal at the beginning of the month and I hit it. And it's because I think my brain like all of a sudden thought 37,000 seems really easy when you look at how much you actually have to make to go to Japan, right? Like, and all these other places. So yeah, like setting a goal and then setting a higher goal immediately afterwards is usually good too. And then trying to tap out the limiting, like use EFT to get rid of the limiting beliefs in between there. It's already 1:00. Do you guys have questions? I feel like I'm telling you all this stuff and I don't know if you guys actually want to know all of this.
No, I love it. I love this. I can go on forever. And I would have one request though. If you're going to decide to do this, please let us know ahead of time so that I can request the time off from work.
Yeah, we'll definitely know ahead of time, and it'll just be people in this group. So I think it would just be people in this group. I have no idea who else I would even possibly invite into doing this. I don't think they'd understand, because we're going to do it framing as like achieving top copywriter status, business owner status, and like, because as a copywriter, you think you're a freelancer. You're not. You're a business owner, right? You're a consultant who sells things using words. That's really what you are, right? You're not just a freelancer anymore. You're a business owner. And so while we can sell on freelancing sites, we're not freelancers, because we have to be consultants and we have to pay our bills and we have to pay like taxes and we have to have a business license. Like, freelancers in most fields, like if you're an assistant, you don't have to have a business license for a lot of places. Here, if you're a copywriter, it's under professional services. You have to have a license, right? And you don't have to until you hit like $12,000 income from that. In Washington, I think it's higher in California. But yeah, like, you're a business owner. So we have to work towards that. And it wouldn't make sense to have everybody else in the world on that call, because we're not doing it generally. We're going to do it specifically to hit your income goals as a sales copywriter or a business owner, right? So I'll definitely let you know in advance. We'll plan it. We have to plan in advance anyway, because I have to make sure I have backup babysitting for the whole day. And today I'm really blessed. I have Mark, but Mark, I don't know what Mark's going to be doing. He's finishing up another degree right now, and then he is looking at becoming a helicopter pilot after that. So I have to start being better about scheduling things without being like, can you please? Like, he's so amazing. He's in the other room. He made breakfast this morning. It was really good. He's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah. I'm so glad that you actually met him.
Me too. I almost didn't. I almost did not. I kept saying no. And like, I loved that we were having great conversations. And I was like, no, I don't want to meet. You're too far away. And he's like, I could move. I'm like, I've had so many people flying from all over the country to meet with me to do dates. And like, I was less than impressed all the time. It was a waste of my time. Getting ready for a date is such a pain. And it takes an hour to get ready. And then you got to go meet with somebody, and then it's all awkward. It's never the same, And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, this is my deadline. I don't have to do this. And then he said something. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm sure I'll figure it out one of these days. Like, I can go back through. I have all of our messages and like everything, because I had rubrics for people I was dating. Like, I know, like, I like this, I don't like this, right? Like, horrible. I'm a horrible human being, but it's the only way I can keep everything straight in my brain. Yeah. So yeah, I was really happy that I met him, and I almost didn't, because I kept telling him no. And finally he was like, I'm coming over there, and said a couple things. And I was like, okay, I'll see you this weekend, but you're not gonna, like, this isn't gonna be what you want. I can guarantee it. And then he met all the kids and everything. And I'm like, this isn't what you want. And he's like, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I want. I'm like, no, it's not. And so I tried to beat him off for like a month, and then we ended up married. So it's, like, universe, sometimes you think you know what you want, and the universe knows what you want. And like, what you want will fight to get to you no matter what. It's, at least if what you want is named Mark, it'll fight to get to you no matter what. So I don't know what that is.
Oh, thank you for sharing. I don't know about what you guys are manifesting right now, but I'm asking for $10,000 a month. and
that's awesome.
Get away from the daytime job so I can enjoy my freedom. That's what I'm manifesting.
Right? Don't you? It's not great. You have like nieces and nephews, right?
Yes, I do.
That's right. And that's who you're like the grandma to nieces and nephews. Yes. So you need more time with them.
Yes.
Okay. What's everybody else manifesting? Because I'm manifesting a house that has 8 bedrooms. I'm going to do it too within a year. Watch. I have to. I have 7 kids.
What's the difference? Like, why is the time frame necessary? Can you, like,
what happened? I'm
manifesting
sorry.
is one, like, manifesting something, that's one thing, but having a deadline for it, like, I need to do this before this, I need to get this done before the end of this year, I need to, like, why is a deadline in there? Like, why should we give ourselves deadlines? Is there something behind this?
Actually, there's something behind doing it and not doing it. So some people are deadline oriented and their brain will automatically kick in because they're time sensitive and they're time oriented, right? For me, I just like to do it because it's a game. When you turn manifesting money into a game, it's like, ooh, how much can I manifest in 48 hours? I would love to manifest $10,000 in 48 hours. And that's not all I say. I go through a whole thing that's like 20, 30 minutes long to manifest $10,000, right? I'm not just like, oh, I've got the money and it's there. I go through a thing, right? And this last time I didn't have to. The money just showed up. But most of the time I go, because I've elevated my money mindset so much. But most time, like, I'll go through a thing and I started off like in scales, like I'll manifest, like at first it was all I want universe is $150 to buy my kids Christmas presents. This was in 2011, right? That was the Christmas money miracle that kicked all this whole craziness off. Of like, holy moly, I can manifest anything I want. And behind the, like, I was like, I tapped on it. I cleared out all my limiting beliefs. And at that point in time, manifesting $150 at a thin air seemed like a tall order for me. I was like, there's no way I'm going to like, okay, fine. But I was following through this book and I had put a bunch of different resources together and kind of combined modalities like NLP and EFT and manifestation and things like that. And I was like, and I decided I was just going to have, it's not that you have to have complete faith. It's that you have to have suspended belief, right? So I'm going to suspend any negative beliefs. Like, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to assume everything's going to be okay. And I only have to do that for this amount of time. So if you only give yourself 48 hours, you only have to suspend your belief for that amount of time. And other thoughts like I don't want to say negative, but like unsupportive, unresourceful thoughts will creep in. And you may see like negative, like unresourceful beta reflections of like suddenly you see another bill come in and you have to kind of say, okay, deep breath. Thank you, universe, for all the money I need to pay that bill. You know, like I'm going to keep going. I'm going to suspend my beliefs for this long. And after, first of all, tapping makes me feel like EFT makes me feel amazing. I feel like I've run a marathon or like I'm, on some kind of medical drug, right? Like, which I'm not, I haven't been, but it feels amazing. So you're already kind of there because you've cleared out all of the, like tense energy in your body. But you have to, like, if you set that timeline, your brain knows, like, okay, I only have to suspend this belief for this long, right? And it's also just like a game, right? So when I first started, it was like, I just want to, you come from a point of curiosity, is it like a childlike curiosity? I just want to see if I can manifest this within 7 days. Like, wouldn't it be cool if I could manifest this within 7 days? It's not ever coming from an emergency manifestation need, like $10,000, a $10,000 emergency. Like, you don't want to be manifesting $10,000 when you need it. You want to manifest it because, like, thank you, universe, for $10,000 in extra spending money, right? If you're at the point where you have to pay like a bill, right? There's emergency manifestation techniques that you use that have nothing to do with what I'll teach you. And maybe we should do the emergency ones, like, as a caveat to that. Like, if you're all of a sudden like, I need $150, right? Which most people maybe don't need $150, but I needed $150 at that point in time. I'll tell you guys where it showed up too in just a minute. But there's like, you can smell any kind of money you have and give gratitude for it and do tapping just while smelling money, right? You can do what I call so what tapping, which is tapping about the problem. Like, so what if I can't pay this electrical bill? So what if I can't like get my kids this fancy thing for Christmas? So what if I can't, because it shuts down your subconscious reactive system when you go through like so what tapping, right? I know I look really funny, but if it didn't work, I wouldn't be doing it because I look ridiculous. Right? So it's like right under your eye here, Neri, like under your eye. Yeah, there you go. Like that. I just saw you tapping on your nose for a second. I'm like, I don't think there's a point there, but you can if you want. So like you can go through so what tapping, that kind of thing, as emergency stuff. But this money, and I was married to somebody else at that point in time who I think Neri knew. Did you ever meet Philip? We've been together for a long time, so I think you knew about Philip.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I met him, but I believe we spoke on the phone when we were doing phone consultation.
Yeah, we were doing phone consults a long time ago. So sorry, I'm like sucking on a cough drop so that I don't keep coughing into your ears. So like Philip was my husband at the time, and we're still friends. We're co-parents, but he lives like 30 minutes away, and I have the kids most of the time, and he just decided he wanted a different life, right? And that was okay. So but he didn't believe in this manifestation stuff at all. And I told him, like, I'm going to manifest. And he's like, you're going to what? I'm like, I'm going to manifest $150 for Christmas presents. And lo and behold, like, something fell behind the dresser within, like, it was like the next morning. It was well within 24 hours. And I'd said, like, 7 days, I think, or something like that. It might have been shorter time. Maybe it was 3 days. But something fell behind the dresser in this obscenely small room we had. Like, if you open the door, it hit the bed, and that's all that fit in the room, and like the dresser at the very end of the bed. So we can only use the top 3 drawers because the bottom are blocked off by the bed. And something fell behind the dresser, and so we had to like literally like try to lift the dresser up and put it on the bed just to find what fell behind there. And it was like a little glass thing that I'd had, but what was behind there was a check for $150 from an insurance company refund that neither one of us even knew that we had, from an insurance company that I had been with when I was 18. Random check, $150. So I was like, let's do this again. Like, I was so over manifesting free cups of coffee. I was like, I can only drink so much coffee, and I can only have so many parking spaces. If I don't have money for gas in my car, I don't need a parking space, right? Like, there's no money for gas. I don't need a parking space. Like, I got to manifest things that matter to me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to manifest like an amazing toy sale, right? This was like December. I'm like, and so like I just like started driving, and I just pulled it. I went to get coffee. Like, I deposited the check. I went to buy myself a cup of coffee, which I never did at that point in time. Because when you don't have money for Christmas presents, you're not going to Starbucks. It's not happening. You can't afford it, you know? So like I went through Starbucks and I used a little bit of the money for that. And like right by Starbucks, there were like these signs that said like 70% off, 70% off, like everywhere. And I followed these signs, and I got the front parking spot, of course, because I'd become really good at manifesting parking spots, just not money. And now I'm really good at both. Like, it's funny. You guys know how that goes, right? Like, you're always really good at manifesting one thing, but then you want to manifest this other thing, and it's like, hello, you know, like I'm blocked to doing that. So, and it's like 70% off, and it was like all the toys. I went in and we only had 2 kids at the time, and I bought like $150 was a lot back then for presents, and I bought so much stuff at 70% off. And then I get up to the front, and this lady gave me another coupon for an additional 20% off, like just like that she got as the store person, because my kids were so cute, right? And so like I had this basket full of toys and books, and like I'd gone out to spend 150, like I spent $5 on coffee, $5 on gas, we had $140 to spend, and my total came to like $12.13 for all the toys, because I had the 70% off. She gave me her percentage off. Like, it was crazy. So then I was like, you guys want to go to McDonald's? They didn't really know what McDonald's was. I'm like, that's really sad. So I took them to McDonald's, and like, you know, we went out to dinner for the first time in years at McDonald's. And now I'm like, we're not going to McDonald's tonight. Nope. Nope. You're going to die if you eat that every night. It's not good for you. So yeah, that's, you know, that was my first major money manifestation, was $150. And I've gotten to the point where like I've manifested, you know, $20,000, $30,000 in like a very short period of time. But it's usually like, this is the first month I've manifested the $37,000 and hit it within a month of setting it, right? Within actually 2 weeks of setting it. And with everything else going crazy around me, and none of it came in the form of like any kind of loan, right? So like 1 month I received $42,000, but like 12 of that I had to pay back or something like that. And it was like, I was really grateful. I didn't have to pay it back with any interest, but I had to pay it back. It's like 1% interest or something like that. So, but it was still, I manifested $42,000 and I felt really good. But this time I'm like, I'm going to do that a month, and it's going to be consistent. And then like first day, I was like, okay, well, first day of December, I want to manifest. I just for fun, I want to manifest $10,000 first day of December. I didn't. I did 9,726 first day of December. And I still have to deliver all that work, but like I did it, you know, like yay. And it's all in fun. Like you have to come from it from like I wonder if I can, I wonder what's possible, you know? Like this is really cool. Like it'd be so much fun to manifest like, but I give gratitude for every single piece of money that I have and every single challenge that I face. I'm like I always say thank you universe for this crazy freaking challenge because like I know it's just moving me faster towards my manifestations. It's just moving me faster towards my goals. And like I feel actual gratitude for that. I do gratitude all day long, right? And I feel it. And I don't ever do like basic gratitude. I do like, I don't ever be like, I'm never like, thank you for my family. Thank you for my home. Thank you for like specific things about your family and how it makes you happy and things like that. Like specific things about your home. Like, you know, I love having, like, thank you for all this money. I love having it because it allows me to have this amazing bed that's super comfy and then I sleep really well and then I can perform better for clients and like go on a rampage of gratitude is what it's called. Like there's a little girl who does it who's really cute on YouTube. Just type in like rampage of gratitude little girl and it's like, I love my mom, I love myself, I love my dad, I love my dog. Like she's just like, I bet that girl manifests really well. So okay, I'm like rambling on right now about manifestation. I feel like people are gonna fall asleep.
No, this is awesome. This is awesome. I like it. I don't know about you guys.
I'm loving it as well. I'm really.
I'm also practicing it. So
yeah, practicing it helps a lot. Let me see here. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? We'll do a whole day on this, like a 6-hour session on tapping and cramps. Yeah.
Is this mostly going to be related to Amazon listings, or are we going to move aside some like website copy or something like that?
Aha! You jumped in right after we talked about that, huh? Okay, so the main focus, so we're going to call it our framework is for Amazon listings. In the middle of January, we are going to talk about sales funnels, how to launch your sales funnel so you can get more clients, how to write sales funnels probably for like Amazon products, things like that. So we're going to go into sales funnels in this. We're going to hit like every single main type of sales copy by the time that we're done with this. But we're going to do it like our main thing is Amazon listing optimization, right? Everything you learn about that in terms of sales copy, the foundational that we taught this morning, all of the different things about NLPs, conversational hypnosis, all of that is all going to tie into every single kind of sales copy you'd ever want to write. And then all you have to do is go and look at that, like, okay, well, here's a sales page. I already know how to write sales copy. Where would the sales copy fit into the sales page in terms of like the pattern, right? So there's like different patterns you can go and there's lots of different sales copy patterns. You can just type in like high converting sales page pattern. You'll know how to write the high converting sales copy. It's just about to put in the pattern. And I think you know already like a lot of that stuff. But yeah, we're going to go through like client getting funnels essentially and like which tools we need to do for that. And you can pick whichever platform you want to launch your funnel on. Neri has a great one that she works with. What's that one called again? Groove. If you want a really good funnel, talk to Neri about Groove. Yep. Don't just go use it. Talk to Neri about it. She has like secret hacks on how to use it. Like you gotta go talk to her. Right?
I'll definitely have a look into this first as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll go through that and what it takes. And really it's not a lot. And it depends on like what you want to charge. If you want to do it automated on a website, if you have a great reputation, you're still going to be capped at between, to like under $1,000 or under $2,000 for your high-end packages. If you want to sell it, like if you're charging more than $2,000, people usually want to get on the phone, and that's fine. Because if you're good at what you do and you're like, okay, well, usually I charge $500 an hour for a consult, but I've got 10 minutes on this day. Like if you want to do a quick meet and greet before you purchase, like we can totally do that, because you're going to have waiting, like you'll have tons of people want to work with you. It's not going to be hard to get people once you have results. That's really where it comes from is results.
That's
and do people like you?
How do you attract your ideal client? Like how do you find the right person? You just give an example of how you declined these abusive clients and then you got this good one. So that's something I'm working on with as well right now. I'm going through that right now. So
like good clients versus clients who don't deserve you. Is that what we're talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Like how do you attract the right person? Like that's my question. Like.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in sales funnels. That's going to be with your book. You're going to write like a blueprint type book or like a regular, like a book, right? So, and I'll show you kind of what we're going to do because I'm redoing mine right now and launching to charge $20,000 for what I'm doing, right? So like for my highest end package, which is currently like $4,000, right? And I've learned and I attracted in the 4,000 the people who paid $4,000 via video. And when I go and I launch a book, people will pay whatever I want. Like, so we're going to be like writing, I'll tell you like the framework we're going to use to write a book. We'll talk about the funnel that you're going to need, like how to go and prospect for people. Like on LinkedIn is a really easy place. You just like drop messages to people through LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And then if they're interested, they book a call and you can jump on a call and then you don't ever tell them your prices until you're on the call, right? So like it's really, really easy because as long as you have, oh, I saw that team. Sorry, just a minute. As long as you have results and as long as you show that you position yourself as the go-to expert via a book, like it's really easy to get clients to pay you well, right? You're not going to be on Upwork anymore. You're not going to be on Fiverr anymore. You're not going to be messing around with any of those people. We'll talk about the transition between that and like shutting down, like we'll talk about the transition between that. And we're probably going to do that middle of January. And that's going to be specific to the people who want to do this as a profession, not to the business owners. So they're probably not going to want to attend those sessions. So we're going to be like the people who are doing the copywriting side are getting more in depth than the people who are doing like I'm doing it for my business side, right? Which is you three here. And I think we might have Muhammad Atif and then one other person who's more looking at doing it as a career. So it's like half business owners, half. And with the business owners, I'm going to spend more time with them actually going through their listings and their brand, talking about brand alignment because they're trying to hone in on their brand and spend, like more time on their brand. And so I have other bonuses for them instead, right? So, because they're not launching a business and they won't want to be a part of that. And you guys probably aren't going to want to be a part of the other stuff as much, but you can be there if you want. Bilal's like, I want to do all of it.
I want to be there.
We're going to do all of it.
I would love to.
Yeah. So that's all. I mean, but what you'll come out of this with is you'll come out of this knowing how to attract clients. You'll come out of this knowing like how, you know what I mean? Like clients are pre-sold. Your clients will be pre-sold before they get on the phone with you because they'll either have seen your results and want to get on the phone or they'll have, like you're not talking people into getting on the phone. Your materials are talking people. The materials I'll show you will talk people into getting on the phone, right? Like, hey, are you guys getting 35% higher conversions? I thought you'd like to see this. I'm sharing this. Here are the 5 steps we took to do this with the last 3 listings we've written, right? And people, Amazon sellers are like, well, I'm sorry, what? Like this is consistently done. So let's, and a lot of times before they even look at your material, just that teaser, like they won't even necessarily look at it. That's on LinkedIn. Like that's one angle to go, like one channel to go through. They won't even look at it. They'll just be like, they're looking for so how can we talk? Can we jump on a call? Like they always want to jump on a call. And a lot of times they'll just be like, well, yeah, or if you want to skip the call because you're really busy and I'm really busy and I'm really busy till next week. Like if you want to get this done now, like here's the website, this is like, there's 2 main packages. Like, let me know if you have any questions. And a lot of times 20 minutes later, I'll just see like a sale notice come through, that's LinkedIn. LinkedIn is easy. If you're not selling the prices on the website. And so pretty soon I'm pulling all mine off my website, right? Because I'm going a different direction with the business. And I'll tell you guys what that is here. Like what I'm planning right here, like what I'm thinking of doing right now. I already know that I'm going to sell just the full launch, right? That's pretty much what I'm going to be selling. I'm looking at bringing people in to handle the other copywriting work and they'll still work for me. It'll still be done through me, but they're going to handle anything that's not the full launch, right? And it's like, you can work directly with me or you can work with the people that I've trained. And this is the price difference, right? And we won't have the prices on the website. We'll just have, like I'll have the packages on the website so they can kind of have something to look at, but there won't be pricing on the website because I don't want them to order automatically anymore. Sometimes we get hit with 15 orders in a day and my brain melts into oblivion because I can't do it. Like I can't handle it anymore. Yesterday we got like 8. I was like, I'm too much stuff is going on, and a lot of them now are for like, they're ordering Amazon packages, but they want me to do it for their Shopify site. It's like, okay, so yeah, I can do that. And they'll write that at the top. Like we need this for the Shopify site. Great. So, anyhow, what was I saying? Yeah. You'll know how to do all of that by the time we're done. And we'll start looking at that in the middle of January. Once you have a foundation, feel confident, like, hey, I can go out and get these clients, like, because I now know what I'm doing. And then a lot of the last half, the 12 weeks is going to be going through listings and talk like as a group, looking at how we can improve those listings together. Like, like you guys can say, here's what I would do. And you can say, here's what I would do. And someone would say, what did you think about this? So you start kind of generating that group collaboration idea and you see it from everybody's perspective and gain everybody's knowledge. It's like a joint knowledge bank, like kind of like tapping into universal consciousness kind of thing, which you can do for sales copy. That's always super fun. Maybe we'll look at that too. But that takes like once you get really good at the identity thing, then we can look at something like that. So I've got a rash all over my arm. Okay, so we're at 123. Does anybody else have any other questions?
One last question. I have one question.
It doesn't have to be your last one. I'm just checking. Okay, go ahead.
Will we be discussing images like how the images should be, what
Yep.
images should and should not include? I have no idea about
images, image anchors, elements, psychological triggers, power bullets.
I've seen your notes.
Colors.
I've seen your notes, so I would love to know more.
Yeah, have you seen did you see the
Yes, I have.
The training I did?
Yes, I have. I have saved you all your files, the persuasion checklists and everything as well.
Okay, cool.
It includes all the stuff as well.
Yeah,
I would love to know more, like updated as well, like up to date,
Yes, we're going to be going through images, definitely. We've got a lot. The last training I did on images didn't even cover everything, and we did it for 2 hours. And it was just like, here are the 37 things you can do to your images right now. Because we've got a graphic design team now, which is really awesome. So they get to test stuff too. So we'll go through images. We'll go through what images go, like what to use when you're crafting a client's, because that's a big thing, right? So clients come to you, you're a sales copywriter, and then if they come to you and you're like, okay, but do you also want to know which kind of images to use, what to put on those images? Do you need that consulting? Like, do you need the blueprint? Like, you ask a client that and they're like, of course I do. Like, wait, you do that? Well, they all should do that. But no, a lot of people just take the shortcut and they don't do that. That's what you tell a client. But yeah, of course we do that. That's part of getting you sales. We do anything that pertains to getting you sales on Amazon, any of the creative side of things. So we tell you which words to use. We tell you which images to, like the image type to use, what to use on the images, which elements, seals, like stars, like all of it, right? We tell you the type of people, pets, positioning, if you want to use a private photographer. Otherwise, we can do it from a point of, if you can only use stock photos, we can do that, right? So this is what we tell clients. And that's how you go from getting, like people are charging $400 for a listing to getting $1,000 for a listing. And all of a sudden you're creating like their template for like what their graphic designer should be doing. And you're not actually creating the graphics. You're just using your words to tell them what to put on the graphics. Use a graphic of a family, like a mom's hugging a son from behind, and you need to put on you're going to use these seals, like it's going to be eco-friendly. So that's the background, and like eco-friendly seal, BPA free, right? And here's the headline you're going to put on the image. And, like you guys already know how to write the description. You're sales copywriters, right? So you know that like the description's easy, and they're struggling with the images and what to put on them and what words to put on them. And you'll know how to do that too. That's why originally it was a 4-week long intensive, how to write a listing, like how to write a Hypnotic Amazon listing. And then it's like, no, it needs to be 8 weeks because we're going to do this. Then I'm like, no, we want to add images and talk about the highest converting video scripts and all of this. So now it has to be 12 weeks. And people are like, 12 weeks. I'm like, if you show up for the first 6 weeks, you're going to be a masterful Hypnotic Amazon copywriter. But if you want the highest conversions, you need to show up for 12. Yeah. Sorry, Neri.
I'm just going to add that if you were going to do like an 8 weeks, like a typical other courses, I would not be here. I can tell you that, because I know this material is not 8 weeks.
It's not 8 weeks. I know. And I tried. I was like, let me boil it down for you. And I'm trying to like condense everything. And I'm like, no, I'd rather just meet once a week for 12 weeks. And like, I know that's a lot of time for everybody, and I'll start the thing with the training, and then we'll go into Q&A, and, like I'll drop other trainings like that I can pre-record before that too. Like it's really good to pre-record the research training and then have the whole session for the following week for Q&A, because the research training is like fire hosing. It's like getting fire hosed with information. There's no way to break it down. There's no way to answer a question without it generating another question about another question. Like it's really, really like, and there's an Excel spreadsheet and you can totally go through and fill it out. But if you don't understand how those things interconnect, and if I'm not there to answer questions right afterwards, like it's really hard to put that all together. And I've tried breaking it down so many times, but it's like the human psychology side is totally connected to this side of it, which is connected to this. Like you just can't do it without having a Q&A, like letting people, like pre-recording that, let people digest it, and then next week going back over it. Right. So bullet points, like you guys already know a lot of that stuff, a lot of that's going to be templatized. Right. And if you want to put in your own words, this is like literally, I have so many bullets. You're going to change out a lot of the, until you're comfortable writing it yourself from scratch and kind of combining the stuff. You're going to change out the features. You're going to change out the benefits with the hot button words that your customers are using. So they think you're like them, right? Or that your clients like them, that your client's product is like them too. You're going to shift around like what the header is based on what the client wants. The titles are pretty, there's 8 different titles you can write, right? And I've already got templates for all of that. There's, so you're just going to change around the words. There's, like the description is so easy. Everybody pretty much knows how to do it, but we'll go through that. And then EBC A plus and the auxiliary images. And then below the auxiliary images, now in position 7, you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can put a video. Everybody can now. And with that video, is there someone like Bilal's like looking off to the side and I'm like, what's going on over here? So you can do a video. And what we found is like by combining a video that shows like one thing with something that shows another thing. So the video shows like 360 degrees of a product because people want to see the product all the way around a lot of the time. And then, from different angles. And even if like it's recorded and 3D rendered and that goes into like a lifestyle video, right? Those increase conversions like between 29 and 47%. And if you can go to your clients and be like, hey, I know how to increase your conversions 47%, or 29% or whatever, like they get really happy. Then everybody listens, like, here's how we increase conversions 29%. And you just tell them like, we combine this, this, and this. And you don't have to tell them how to do it. You just say, this is what we did, right? And then like, you guys will know how to do that from this class too. You guys will know how to write those scripts. And then you don't produce the video, you just write the script. You don't produce and if you want to produce the video, Neri and Tin, like you guys can do that. You can find video producers and do your thing. I'm not producing a video. It's not what I do. I don't like it. Like I can record a video. I don't want to like the microsecond, like deep cut, deep cut. No, don't cut that. No. Like I cannot do that. I don't, I will die.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about when it's come to video editing. Even one split second, I will get it.
Yeah, like no. It's like microseconds. Like just hit the back button once, and it's like, brrr. I'm like no. I don't video edit.
I think this is where the partnership comes in. Share the profit.
Yeah.
With those who are expertise.
Oh yeah, share expertise, share profit. Like I have no problem sharing profit. I just am not video editing for anybody. The kids are like, will you do this for? No. I love you. I birthed you. I'm not editing your video. You're done. Like I will buy you a car before I edit your video. I'm sorry. I hate video editing. Hate it.
I want to add.
Yeah.
I just read a few hours ago that for next year it's Amazon Live. We can also do scripts for them. It's a new thing, I think, for next year. Amazon Live.
Amazon Live.
Amazon Live.
What is Amazon Live? Yeah. I haven't even heard that yet. I got married. I've been under a rock. I've either been married. I was married and planning this class. Like that's all I've been doing.
You're not alone, Diane. I haven't heard about it as well.
I'll share the.
Yes.
I'll share the update.
Yeah, share it.
It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing, Diane.
Maybe I have heard of it. I probably haven't. Like my brain's just like.
I'm sure you have. It's
not
pretty much a lot of people are now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people now, especially the influencers, they will get on the Amazon Live.
Oh, so, Amazon Live. Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, you can write the scripts for that. Exactly. Yeah, once you know how to write something that sells, you know how to write something that sells and you can write it. As long as you can follow a pattern and you know words that sell, you can do anything. You print money out of thin air. I literally print money out of thin air. And as long as you can get in front of the right people, that's really important too. Amazon is pretty easy. It's a lot easier because the traffic is keyword optimized, right? You start messing around with Facebook and we've got some more things to talk about. Like this is not a Facebook ad training. It's a whole thing. There's so many of those out there that are really, really great. That's another thing I don't do. I don't like setting up Facebook ads. I need to find somebody to do that for me. Really, truly, who I can trust because your bank card's connected to that. And I'm not connecting Facebook ads. I sound like a snob, but I'm not a snob. I just know my limits. I know what I'm not good at. And those are two things like I'm not good at Facebook ads. Like I'm great at writing them. We can write them. We can do the images, but setting up the oh.
I would love to have a discussion about this as well. Facebook ads.
Yeah, we can look into Facebook. I mean, they're super duper simple.
We can have a breakdown of some good running ads and why they are good, why they're running.
Well, and Facebook ads are so easy. So with Facebook ads, there's oh my gosh, how do I put this? once you know how to write sales copy to attract somebody, the Facebook ad's just going to come to you. Facebook ads are all about the image. That's what they are. Like the image, you have to get people to stop scrolling, right? And so you think about that person and what is going to get them to stop scrolling. And it's not just going to be a crazy looking cat all the time. Facebook is now one of the top selling advertising platforms for business to business products, right? So if you go through and you look at what other businesses are doing, like that's a good assignment. Like beyond, you already have 3 assignments for this week. Like I don't want to give you more. But if you find yourself mindlessly scrolling through Facebook, which sometimes I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm just like staring off into space, like meditating, scrolling through Facebook or something. Start following people who are advertising to your audience, right? And you'll see the ads that they run over and over and over again, they're going to be the same 7 type of ads, right? So like once you know how to write sales copy, you can totally just write a Facebook ad. Like it's the easiest thing ever because Facebook is very much about targeting. Can you get in front of people? We have a hard time getting in front of Amazon sellers on Facebook, right? It's really tricky to do because there's not like a, like you can go and be like, follows Martha Stewart, and you're selling something from Martha Stewart. Like that's pretty easy versus like sells on Amazon. Where's the sells on Amazon button? Is there a sell on Amazon? There's not a sells on Amazon button anywhere on there. There's things we know that they do, right? But you're not going to get in front of those people very easily there. So like LinkedIn's a good strategy. And we can like I buy email lists of Amazon sellers and I don't email to them. I just have them set up on my Facebook advertising. Right? So that they're targeting the right people. Otherwise, it's like entrepreneur, 4 million. I'm not doing that, Okay.
That is very clever of you, Diane, that you actually bought the listing from the source.
Oh yeah, I bought the email list because I couldn't find. There was no way to track down Amazon sellers. So that's why, like, that's another way to go and get more clients is like contact anybody once you can show how you got success, right? And you kind of put it into like a method, which you're going to be doing to write a book or something like a small book anyway to market. You can go and contact every single every single podcast and every single like trainer and all those people and say, hey, I know you're always looking for great content. I put this thing together. I'm available if you want me to come present to your group. And then you're getting in front of like 2 and 5 and 10 and 30,000 people who sell on Amazon. And that's far more effective than trying to Facebook market for Amazon sellers, right? Like I always say invest your time where it's going to make the most money, and contacting people who do those podcasts and the like video stuff is not the video stuff. Obviously my brain is like, it's been 4 hours. That actually handle the, like that do all the trainings and stuff, like Kevin King and people like that, like reach out to them and say, hey, I've got this amazing training. I learned this thing that's going to like, we did this and it boosted sales this much, and make it a point to contact like 10 of those people a week. And if you get 1 podcast a week and you're in front of 1,000 people and like even 3 of those people want to buy, you have 3 new clients, right? Or you have 10 new clients, and then and then those people come back and it starts to build on that too, right? So like for something like for what I'm doing with the full launch, I can afford to advertise on Facebook and like hone in, right? And find the right clients. But what I'm advertising is a book. I'm not advertising my services. I don't ever recommend you go and just straight advertise your services on Amazon or on Facebook, like ever, for Amazon, because there's a ton of people doing it, right? Advertise the book with the results you got and how you got there, and then you'll pull in clients anyway. And people who read books are, like I said, 60% more likely to buy a high ticket item from you than someone who's going to watch a video, right? Readers are buyers. Readers are buyers. Same thing with like when clients will come and say, okay, well, I want every bullet point to be 1,000 characters or to be 100 characters. And I'm like, that's really cool, but your product is $97 and readers are buyers. People who want a lot of detail and information, they want to know everything about it. Those are buyers. The people who only want to do quick snippets of things, like they're not going to buy high-end products. They're the same people who watch 50 videos and don't ever buy anything. You know what I mean? So readers are buyers. So we create books. And as you guys have seen, I have a lot of them out there. I create videos too. I enjoy videos, and those people come and buy, but people who don't know you, like they'll feel like they're your best friend by the end of your book. Right? As opposed to a video where they can just go watch a video from someone else. No one else is sitting there pitching books at them about the same topic. you're creating a market of one, right? Does that make sense? I don't know if anybody understands market. Okay.
These are great tips. Thank you, Diane.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just like rattling out. I'm gonna have to let all the business owners know, like, okay, so we stopped talking about the listings at this point. Like everything after that is manifestation and like, you know, launching your sales copy business.
It's super informative when you go in your flow, like you just
it's
talk what you have in your mind. I'm absorbing a lot of this.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you guys are absorbing it. I was a little bit worried. I was like, okay, I felt like the training this morning was an hour and a half.
This is honestly very helpful and great tips. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing this and your time with us. Thank you so much, Diane.
Really, yeah, of course. Thank you guys. Okay, let's see. I'm seeing who else is still in here.
And you guys also check out meetups. They have Amazon meetups and stuff like that.
That's a great thing to check out. Yeah.
Meetups. Meetups.com.
Okay, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. Do they have that outside the U.S.?
I'm not sure, but I know in the U.S. yes. Where are you guys though? I'm in California and
I'm from Pakistan.
Pakistan, okay.
Yeah.
Philippines.
Oh, wow.
I'm in Bellingham.
I don't think
that's just north of Seattle.
Did you guys have an introduction or something I missed in the start?
A little bit, yeah. Well, just because I was having some technical issues trying to get the video recording to start. So I was like, hey, let's just introduce each other at the beginning because they changed. Okay, well, so what they did was they went through, and I've always used Screencastify and I love them, but all of a sudden they went from being where you go to a website and you click record and it launches to like you had to download a plugin that goes up in your top right hand corner and then you have to launch from there, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And they changed that this week. They're super nice about it. It was great timing. That's me being sarcastic. I was like, okay, great timing. That's awesome. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Anybody?
That's it from me.
No.
This is amazing.
That's all for this time.
That's all for this. Yes. And remember, you can always drop questions in the Facebook group. You guys should all have. I don't have anybody I don't have it set so you have to be approved to drop a question. Right? So you should be able to. And if anybody finds you can't, let me know and I'll go check the settings. But within this group, everything is private within the group and only certain people are allowed in here. So I figure everybody's safe to drop questions and I don't have to monitor what's being dropped. Right? And since you're all going for the same career, you're not going to be promoting to each other. So I don't have to worry about spam promotions everywhere. Right? This is awesome. So yeah. Okay. Well, I think we've seen everybody who's going to come in today. So if you guys don't have anything else, we can wrap it up and I'll get the video over to you as soon as possible.
Sure, definitely.
Earlier, a little bit later today. And I'm going to go check on a sick baby and try to relieve my husband because he's been with him for 4 hours. Yeah.
Oh, I hope
you're like that.
Yeah.
The 1-year-old one is sick?
Yeah. Austin's sick again. Well, you remember, he was super sick. He was almost died last year when he was born because he was his immunity was so low, and it took 4 months for it to build to the point where they didn't think he was going to die. And then now he's just he gets sick. He still has low immunity, so he gets sick more than other kids do. So he's sick half the month. This is the first time he's been sick though. He's only been sick this week. We had a whole month of him being healthy, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, he hasn't missed daycare in a month. This is the first day he's missed in a month. So from being sick. So yeah, we're really grateful. He's not feeling well, but we're super grateful. So,
okay.
And it's just a regular baby cold now. It's not we're not freaking out. He's going to be fine. He'll be fine in 2 days. So very cool.
Alrighty. It's a pleasure to meet everybody. What an awesome first day. Thank you so much again, Diane.
It's great to see everybody face to face.
Thank you for the session. Definitely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'll see you guys next Friday. Drop questions and feel free to drop your homework in the meantime. I love that.